Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host Phontomen, and welcome to today's show. Today we're playing more Katawa Shoujo. And there's the game in the background. Right, okay, so is everything good? You're assuming that it actually... Oh, wait, no, that wasn't the actual window. That was the splash screen. Because those are things. Come on, OBS. Ah, there we go. Yes, we get to enjoy the calming menu music, but welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just maximize this here, because there's actually... Full screen is counterproductive, so I'm just gonna make the window very big. Yeah, that's about as big as I can actually make it. Yeah, okay, right. Okay, so, welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Phontomen, and now we're playing more Katawa Shoujo. And hey, look! Well, actually, no, we started in the main menu, so now we have unlocked a cutout. It's like collectibles. Like that. There's you, the main protagonist, and I hear you can unlock more, trading cards based on how many cripples you fuck. Welcome back to fucking Simulator 9000. Let's get on with it. When last we left off, Kenji tried to shake us down for money, and he got away with it. So when do we get redacted Sayori? Alright, so that is time I will never get back. I'll get him for this somehow. I will not actually get him for this, but yes, that is true. Those were hours that I could never... minutes. It felt like hours, but it was only minutes. Minutes that I will never get back. Damn you, Kenji. You fucking paranoid schizophrenic. Right now, I have to get to class. Damn, Mr. Shakedown fucking cripples too. Well, not the cripples! But, there are certain things implied by certain elements in the game and people around the game that, Kenji, fuck the librarian. We never see it for certain, but, there's a couple things that kind of hint towards something went on there. I'm the first person in class today, although I think I'm a little too early. Then again, sitting alone here for 20 minutes sure beats having to suffer that time with Kenji. Yep, I look like I'm on time. Or rather, well-kept and, orderly. Sitting here, alone, where no one can see any of it. The combination of fatigue, frustration, and boredom starts making me feel very tired. I black out for a second, waking up when my head hits the surface of my desk. Rubbing my forehead, I realize this is a good reason as any to stay up for now and stop coming to class so early later. I mean, yes, but are we sure that's not the heart condition? Blacking out. You have to sit there for 20 minutes and you're already blacking out. Good lord. Is this what youth is like? I can't remember. It's a school. Would you black out? Kinda. Eventually, I hear a tapping noise outside the hallway. It's Lily's tall and Lily's tall figure appears in the doorway. She's not in this class, so she must have some other business. Maybe she's looking for Hanako. Lily stops at the door, looking hesitant as if she was a vampire who can't come in unless uninvited. I consider doing so because she looks rather lonesome standing there. Did we count the almost? No, we just one. Well, actually, no. No, we didn't count. We just had the one in the beginning, and then we had the near miss here. So we're up. If we're gonna count that, it's two. It was one, and now it's technically speaking two from that slight incident after we were told don't get hit in the chest, and then got hit in the chest. She steps in on her own accord, though. after straightening her skirt and shirt collar as if it was of importance to look prim when entering our classroom. Excuse me. She calls into the quiet classroom with a probing, delicate voice. I realize the silence might unnerve her because of her blindness, so I break it. Good morning, Lily. Yes, Martin's best, girl. Isao, good morning. I didn't hear you come in. I wonder if she thinks it's suspicious I didn't say anything to her before. It's likely. If I were to tell too big a lie now, it would sink me. Well, I was already here, just asleep until now. Oh, have you seen Hanako today by any chance? No, she seems to come in only just before the bells ring. Or after that. Do you want me to tell her something for you? No, it's fine. It's strange, but I think we're the only two people in the school right now. I didn't hear anyone else on my way here. Alone? With Lily? This isn't my route, but I can kind of see how this one would go, right? I shouldn't have gotten up so early today, I guess. You're chastising yourself for doing something that other people should? Punctuality is a good thing. I think so. Well, I think so, anyway. It's a very busy morning today. That's why there's no one here. The festival is coming up soon, and today is the deadline for event registration, budget reports, and any other official paperwork. It could be that everyone is trying to complete the necessary forms at the last minute. Maybe that's why it's so quiet today. Just a drive-by shooting, casually in the distance. It's just Misha, though. Hi. Misha pops into the room with Shizune as if on cue, shouting with a loudness that makes Lily visibly flinch. Hi, Hee-chan. Hi. Yes, hi. Look, it's the class representative. Hello. Lily smiles, probably amused by Misha or Shizune's use of the word look. Good morning. Yes, she's laughing at the blind jokes. That means we can make them. As 4chan so valiantly did all those years ago. Man, some of those blind jokes for Lily are absolute fucking riots. Those are some of the best blind jokes I've ever seen in my entire life. Absolute goldmine. Yes, deaf girl straightens her glasses and says nothing. Of course, you're not the representative of this class, right? I'm not. Lily seems a little more guarded in her answers to Shizune than she was with me the other day. I guess they really don't get along at all. Shining example of the combined mind of the community. Yes, the glory of the golden age of the internet came together to fuck cripples and make jokes about the blind. It was a magical time. Then I realized that Lily might not actually know Shizune is present, and she's trying to detect whether or not she is, to know who she's talking to. Yes. Cripples. Doing cripple things. Poorly. For all she knows, she's talking to Misha, but knowing that she and Shizune are practically inseparable, she might expect Shizune being the one that actually talks. Lily, even I can see why kids love the taste of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Sato, she's holding Fruit Loops. This is what we had. This is the, fucking Skunk Works military-industrial complex bleeding edge of comedy that we had. My god, the joke! I missed the jokes. Damn, how complicated. I decided to help Lily out, for my own peace of mind more than anything else. You're here early, Shizune. You were here even earlier than us. Misha puffs out her cheeks angrily. Why is she getting angry? Does she feel emotions on Shizune's behalf too? It's not that weird, though, that Shizune didn't like my little comment. It's true, I was here earlier than them, so me saying something like that could definitely be misinterpreted as anything. Yes, I was more than on time for school. I was early. Where are you? Especially to Shizune, who doesn't have the benefit of hearing tone to gauge intent. It's quite like people cannot detect sarcasm on the internet. Before I can start weighing whether or not I should apologize, Shizune has already moved on. Class rep, it's a good thing you're here. We have to talk. The festival is coming up in 3 days, right? Every other class has already handed in their project budget reports for their events. Even the first years, except you. Except you. Wahaha. This is something to waha about. There is still time to hand it in, isn't there? Today! The deadline is today! You're certainly taking your time, aren't you? If I had it my way, I'd have had all the necessary paperwork days ago, but someone had to say, the deadline, please extend it. Yes, that was me. Planning something on this scale is not a small task, and a week is too small a time frame to expect a whole class to work out such a complex issue completely. Do you want to know what's harder than distributing the funds for one class event? Handling the same matter for every class in the school, and then some. The one who does that is me. Misha puts her hands on her hips and stands up straight. Wow, she's really getting into the role. Lily doesn't look like she's very amused, though. Yes, the children are talking politics about school-related nonsense, but, well, this is Japan, technically, so, as Japan has told us numerous times in numerous stories and media, the student council has more power than God. Evidently. The student council in every high school in Japan is apparently their own self-sufficient sovereign state. Apparently. Hey, Shizune, aren't you being a little too hard on her? There's still a whole day left. Please, Hisao, it's alright. Lily seems happy I'm taking her side, but a bit conflicted that I might not think she can handle herself. If this is about the budget, then I'm disappointed you think I have forgotten about it. I understand how important it is. Then can I have it, please? Shizune, she might not have it on her at this exact second. It's not here right now. I asked 2 students to take care of it for me, students from my class. She emphasizes the last sentence much to my surprise. She knows about Shizune and Misha's efforts to rope me. She knows about the Shizune and Misha's efforts to rope me into the student council. Well, Misha's incredibly fucking loud, so you know what? If she has ears, she can hear. She probably heard it somewhere. I guess word must have gotten around, so now she's using me as ammo against Shizune. This just gets better and better. It was your responsibility. A budget report isn't something you should just be delegating away. As class rep, it's your job to be on top of things. This kind of disregard for proper procedure is really just terrible. They completed it, being capable of doing so, but the students have been sick recently, so they could not come in come to school and give it back to me. If you want, I will apologize on their behalf for getting sick. Okay. Although Misha Although Misha misses Lily's little jab entirely, Shizune doesn't, and she seems torn between being offended by Lily's daring and jumping for joy at the prospect of a challenge. Once again, Cribbles just kind of. It's like three people trying to get into the same fucking door at once. Everyone's terrible at normal things. Maybe not even the normal things that you would have expected. It just makes them worse. The cripple part just makes the I'm bad at normal things worse. Does this count as attempted murder against you? No, I haven't been hit in the chest. And yeah, nobody knows exactly what's wrong with me yet anyway, unless they've talked to the faculty. Lily, don't they live here at the school? That's a 5-minute walk, you know. What could they possibly have that prevents them from taking 5 minutes out of their busy lives to drop off something that will affect the enjoyment of their entire class? Man, this, guys, this seems really funny after COVID. Man. We can... Man. I don't want a Katawa Shoujo sequel, but it would be interesting to see them tiptoe around COVID. Not all of us has a lackey for these things, Shizune. Yes, not only, not all of us has a personal Misha to do literally everything for them or with them. Look at me. I don't even have a girlfriend yet. Lily opens her mouth to say something, but Shizune closes the gap between them and starts signing furiously, waving her hands around like an orchestra conductor. Misha tries her best to convey the same passion, but can't seem to lose her normal cheerful tone. There's all this interesting and somewhat surreal. And what's with that attitude? I said that it's not something you should be delegating away, and you are the class representative, aren't you? Tell me the names of those two students. They should have your job if you can't even handle something this simple yourself. One form isn't the full extent of what I am supposed to take care of. One form isn't the full extent of what I am capable of. Lily picks up her walking cane and brandishes it menacingly. I mean, that or she pulls out a gun and accidentally NDs into the ceiling trying to hit people she can't see. She's powered by faith. Walking cane into a sword. But it's also a gun. Yep, Lily's tone is growing slightly impatient, but she is doing a good job of not letting Shizune see how unsettled she is becoming. She's playing her cards close to her chest. Shizune, on the other hand, wraps her fingers cheerfully along the edge of her glasses, knowing Lily can neither hear nor see how excited she is. Or, comprehend how much of an absolute bitch she's being. I know there are some highlights to Misha and Shizune's, little route there, and I say Misha and Shizune, and not just Shizune, because I know. Wow, that, she probably takes a while to get the bitch out of that, right? It's probably a lot of work to get. I mean, we have our own problems where we're going, but man, that must take forever to get the bitch out of that. Of course, you do so much, class rep. It must be so difficult being you. I hear a good dicking pushes the bitch out. Yep, this is why we're playing Cripple fucking Simulator 9000. Lily tightens her lips at Misha's words, clearly understanding the intent behind them, even though Misha delivers them without a hint of the sarcasm which they were meant to have. Shizune and Lily don't like each other. That much is clear, but this seems a little much. It seems like Lily has had enough and is ready to push back. She brandishes the cane. Yep. Anime fight! Or I'm sorry, well, you know, anime fight and cripple fight. Yeah, no, the cripple fight. Definitely cripple fight. We've got a blind girl and a girl who can't actually hear or speak. Well, she can speak, it's just so terrible you don't actually want to hear it. I was actually just discussing the budget report before you came by. You must be very talented to have finished all of your student council duties so quickly that you can track me down to make sure I don't forget my own. Are you accusing me of slacking off? I'm kind of sad there isn't like a chibi like Misha somewhere in the corner here for this art. It seems like you're confusing me with yourself. I don't think so. That would be a very difficult thing for me to do, comparing myself to you. You're right, the difference between us is like heaven and hell. And it's not a hard guess which one you might represent. Fucking early 2000s, you know, chorus of kids in the back room. Oh. Ah, right, there's also a panty shot in there. Quality. See? We basically have to kill people to get things like that now. The air between them ripples with the heat of the anemone? Of their anemone, right. Well, not really. They can't disguise it anymore, though. Even Misha looks like she's beginning to understand the real nature of this conversation. Hee-chan, don't you slack off either. What are you talking about? Aren't you taking part in the festival, Hee-chan? You are, aren't you? Then I hope you're going to do a lot more than make sure it goes smoothly a lot more to make sure it goes smoothly than this person. I mean, I helped. I don't understand why Shizune is suddenly getting mad at me. I'm not quite sure which of these would do anything. However, I know it kind of just doesn't matter. Bottom. Well, this would get you points with Lily, obviously. But, you know, me being me, sitting in this classroom, watching three girls argue with each other for absolutely no fucking, well, barely any respectable reason, and it looking like the ones yelling the most about this are just trying to encourage to have an argument just for the sake of having an argument. I'm gonna say, hey, everybody calm the fuck down. I think we're getting a little out of hand here. So that's probably what I would have said back then. I can't remember exactly what I did. But Lily go up. Yes. Selection go down. Lily go up. Scribbling noise. Lily appreciated that. Just telltale games in the corner. Hey, I'm the new guy, remember? It's not like I could have done much, even if I wanted. Hey, I have a fucking heart condition, and if I stress myself so much, too much, I die? Might wanna, remember that? But then again, nobody actually knows that, so that's my own fault for keeping it secret like a moron. It's okay, I'll just forget myself. It's such a good kept secret that I'll even forget it myself later. Lisenko's sanity is high. Yes, more experiments. More cripple fucking. That's right, you shouldn't expect a transfer student to jump right into it on his first week. Lily taking my side feels oddly comforting, so I decide to back her up too. Yeah, you're being unreasonable with us both. Excuses. Miss Class Rep has had plenty of time to deal with her report. And we repeatedly offered you a position to help with the student council work, but you refused to commit yourself to making the festival a success. I just got here! Yeah, but as I said back then, I'm not sure if I don't have time for this right now. No matter what I do, it will mean being drawn into a confrontation with Shizune, and that is what she wants. Yeah, right. So this is becoming stupid. I'm being inexorably drawn into a war I don't want anything to do with. There is no war in Yakumu Academy. Whatever. Forget it. I turned my back then. Hisao just picks up his chair and then just faces to the opposite end of the room. I am not here. The only winning move is not to play their bullshit. Yes, because the arguments never end, because they find the arguments entertaining. I get back to my seat and shut my ears from the finale of the argument between Lily and Shizune. Eventually, Lily leaves our classroom and Shizune and Misha seat themselves without talking to me. I can feel Shizune's eyes burning into my back. She is probably angry at me, but I'm just as angry with her. This is all fucking stupid. I don't get why she had to drag me into the argument. She wanted to make herself feel better and more important, because that's the only thing apparently Shizune does. I haven't played her route. As I said, there's only one route in this game for me. But if you like the other girls, well, I guess we all have our problems here, including me. Well, boy, we're gonna have some problems with Emmy. But, yeah, every girl here has more problems than just the disabilities. Hanako doesn't come to the morning class at all, leaving her seat looking empty and lonely in the back of the classroom, quite like Hanako. I have to tell her that Lily was looking for her if I see her later. After the events of this morning, class is pretty boring in comparison. I turn the pages of my textbook lazily. I have a bit of catching up to do, despite trying to keep up with my studies at the hospital. But I'm not feeling that enthusiastic about it. So hello again, afternoon, I miss having hearing. I swear this is the loudest track in the game. Yeah, this is a tad loud. I had to turn it back on my end. So turn that down just a little bit. Good lord. Yeah, I actually had to half the volume there on my mixer. But yeah, let's turn that down a little bit because apparently that's incredibly fucking loud to everyone. The clock at the front of the room sounds unbearably loud, quite like the music! The teacher hasn't said anything in over 7 minutes, instead opting to cover the board in rows and rows of equations taken directly from the book. The rhythmic clashing of chalk on blackboard seems to synchronize perfectly with the ticking of the clock. It's in general the loudest track for no reason. Bad mixing. Also, you know, as a side note here, because I know of this story, you know the guy who actually did the soundtrack for this game actually took it down because he didn't want to be remembered as just the Katawa Shoujo guy? Some people. However, I also have the soundtrack saved to my hard drive as well. So I got that, the enigmatic box of sound, off in a corner somewhere. Start to copy down the equations just to pass the time, even though they are right there in the textbook. Yes, deafening music. Yep, we're actively being crippled here in Cripplefucker 9000. Not the OST, it was the full piano album by the artist. Oh. Well, why the fuck did he do that then? What the, just my solo album on piano. No, I don't want to, I don't want anyone to see this just, because, people might only talk about this and nothing else. It sounds like he got kind of annoyed that other people never noticed or weren't really noticing his other work and were just obsessing over this one thing he did. That sounds like a very kind of fragile reaction to people liking your stuff. When the bell rings, I'm not in a hurry because I have nothing to do, so I stay for a while, reviewing what we covered in class today. I prefer to leave last anyway, so I don't have to deal with the crowding in the hallways. I know Shizune and Misha have also stayed behind, talking to someone from another class. Shizune is signing so fast that her hands make noises like swords cutting through the air. Maybe there's pent-up anger in there. Imagine getting a job. So you're the guy who made the music for Cripple fucking Simulator 9000. Big fan, man. Wow. Holy shit. Yeah, that's the thing. He didn't want to be known as just that guy. That's what he wanted to avoid, which... I don't know if he did anything important after this. That's kind of the problem. So, you know, a smart person would take the fame and go with it, like I would right now. If I cracked a joke and I was suddenly remembered as that guy, yeah, I'd take that for all it's fucking worth, good lord. Misha is trying desperately to keep up, but it's clear she can barely manage to even understand her. I put my head down. Whatever they're discussing, it looks like serious business. Shizune signs to the point where her wrists crack. And Misha struggles to spit out in word form. Or spit it out in word form. Sometimes she trips over herself like she's dealing with tongue twisters, and then on top of that, she has to sign back anything the other girl says. Seems like a rough job. Misha looks tired, like she's about to faint. Lucky for her, their business is soon finished and the girls sit down on their seats again. I'm so tired. She's hanging her head limply on her desk, looking exhausted. I'll use this opportunity to reconcile with Shizune a bit, without getting roped into the student council thing, though I suspect that door is now closed for me. I mean, no, it isn't. They're still desperate. Festival preparations must be tough for you. Indeed, the people in this school seem to be taking the festival very seriously. Slight dyslexia there. I thought there was an L there. There is no L there. Whenever I see people idling around before and after classes, they're always talking about their plans for it. It's kind of neat to see everyone being so enthusiastic about it. Yeah, aside from that fucking argument I saw this morning, that was actually really annoying. There were no L's. There never were any L's. I'm probably the only one who doesn't have something to do. Well, I helped Rin, so it's not like I didn't do anything. Shizune scoffs at me first, as if trying to decide whether to ignore or sneer at me, but in the end she starts signing without doing either. Misha perks up, looking at her hands, with slightly unfocused eyes. She signs with harsh, heavy, dramatic strokes. Misha translates her signing into speech for me. She does it so well it's almost like Shizune is actually speaking, transmitting her thoughts directly through Misha. I mean, you know, that... I mean, if we were doing a shitpost about Katawa Shoujo, there would definitely be an aux cable somewhere around here. That wouldn't be too out of place here. If we were doing like an FGO learning with manga, but it's fucking Katawa Shoujo, yeah, that'd happen. She must have practiced it vigorously. Well, of course, we're in the student council, you know, so we're pretty busy. Harumph. It's an important duty of ours to ensure the success of the festival with all our strength. Clearly in KS2, Misha represents modern Western translations. Yes, and then Shizune flips her shit when she realizes that's not what I'm fucking saying. Why are you telling people that? I didn't say that! No, you didn't, but I thought it was, you know, I thought it'd be interesting to spice up your speech with, you know, with some memes that are hip with the kids and, you know, stuff. Like on that TikTok, right? Mm-hmm. Isn't that better for publicity? How would she ever know? A text conversation with probably the main character or someone else, where they start, where you know, a problem arises, like, you know, like, she realizes, hey, wait, I didn't say that. I mean, well, you didn't, but Misha did. Oh, please tell me exactly what she said, word for word. And then they do it, and she realizes with horror, what the fuck have you been doing? How long have you been doing this? Shizune 2.0 would probably, you know, be relying more on, well, actually, you see, here's the thing. We're still in the era where, hey, you won't have a calculator always on hand. This is just at the beginning of the smartphone era. So Misha 2.0, or rather Shizune 2.0 would probably actually use a smartphone for, you know, quick translations. Do the whole like basically the new age notepad trick. They have a flip. Yeah, so this is before then, but the game was made just as that was becoming a thing. So the iPhone is still pretty pricey right now, if I remember correctly exactly when this game came out. So that wouldn't have made it into the writing anyway. So this is still, you know, it wouldn't have, this would change with modern day, and I don't think I want it to anyway. But it would be, that would be a fun bit, I think. BlackBerry. Do I look like I work for a Fortune 500 company? The fuck do you mean BlackBerry? Next you'll be telling me I need a fucking IBM ThinkPad. You know, the one with the little red nub that functions as a mouse. My uncle worked for NCR, so I actually saw a lot of that shit at home. We would shame ourselves in front of the past student council generations if the festival were to fail. That's why there must be no flaws, no, I think it was encumbrances? No, nothing that might make the festival short of perfect. Shizune's passionate speech and Misha's enacting are really oddly fitting for them. Oh, hello! Oh look, it's the bacon girl. I look over my shoulder and see Hanako peering timidly into the classroom, most of her body hidden behind the door. Hey, playing delinquent again? Hanako blushes hard at Misha's straightforward jab, even if it was only in jest. Shizune stares at her poignantly, causing Hanako to look down and start backing away to the point where only her fingers can be seen wrapped nervously around the edge of the door. Fucking Nosferatu over here. Bacon-flavored Nosferatu. What was that joke about vampires that was in the writing for Lily? That was, yeah, same shit. Maybe she is showing her dislike of Hanako by association of her dislike of Lily. It appears so, and Hanako probably knows it as well. What is it, Hanako? Has Lily been here? Sorry, haven't seen Sato. She, came by in the morning, though. Hanako keeps looking uneasily at Shizune, who stares back at her with her usual studying gaze. What is she trying to do? Retarded shit? Which is a real bitch move, which is apparently most of Shizune currently, even though, you see, Gom's route is Shizune, so I heard about the whole dad thing. So that's kind of how, it's kind of like listening to someone else talk about their girlfriend, which is how seriously I take this game. So I kind of know what's going on there and how that could spawn bitch mode, but it's still really fucking annoying. Of course, Shizune isn't going to look away, and she's and she is intimidating enough as it is, so I can only imagine how terrified Hanako would be. It is a little uncomfortable watching Hanako's reaction to Shizune's normal behavior. This is what happens when two people of two different extremes meet, it seems. Well, in his defense, I think he accidentally lucked into that route. I'm not quite sure how that came about, but, well, you always remember your first time with a situation, and, well, unfortunately, I don't remember anyone else's first time. I wasn't there. Pop also insulted me, and he likes Shizune as well. However, I do know that Emmy is kind of the idiot trap, but when we get to that situation, I will explain how we are not the same. Do you know where she is? If she has any sense in the head, she's in her classroom working on their festival project. But who knows where that woman is loitering at? And no one simps for Rin? Man, come on. I don't really know anyone who's done Rin's route here. However, we'll see a lot of Rin. Just so you know, just so long as you know you're in the wrong. Everyone, yes, the waifu wars will continue. Good lord, look at Ava. Ava has 3 women! We have even more women to fight about here! Hanako nods quickly and then retreats with haste. What we were talking about? Oh yeah, we were working hard to make the festival happen. And you were apparently also being a bitch to literally fucking everyone. We're not gonna say that. Even though Hisao also mentioned that. Same brain cell. Well, good luck with that. I stand up to leave, making it my exit before either of them manages to berate me any more for slacking off. The halls are somewhat quiet as expected. Everyone must be in club meetings or at festival preparations, or both. Shizune's words about being a slacker echo in my head. Which is funny because she doesn't have a voice. I feel a bit guilty about not contributing, but I seem to lack the resolve to do something concrete about the matter. For the festival, it's too late anyway. Oh, it's too late already unless I count helping Shizune and Misho, which I naturally don't, and clubs, I don't know. You helped Rin? Did we forget we helped Rin? Maybe I'm not a club-type person. Halfway through the way from the school building to the dorms, I spot a figure in front of the dorms. It's Rin. Yes, it's Rin, doing Rin things. It looks like she's working hard on her mural today, too. I walk over to her, but she doesn't seem to notice me approaching. She's sitting on an upturned box, looking intently at the wall she is painting with a brush held between her toes. The mural has progressed considerably since yesterday, but it's still only half done as far as I can tell. More colors have appeared, and the twisted human-like figures have spread and increased in number. Ah yes, more cripples. Rin, what is this supposed to be? The mines? The mines? Yes, the cripple mines. Where all the cripples come from. The cripple mines. Yes, the cripple mines. That big business mines so they can sell the cripples to fuck the cripples. Jesus fucking Christ, Rin. I have to say, the style is quite eye-catching and very unique. Not that I would be knowledgeable about art by any measurable scale, but it's very nice looking, nevertheless. Cripple fields of Yugoslavia. I clear my throat to get her attention, but not startle her so that her concentration won't break. Wait. She doesn't even turn to check who it is. I'll wait. I waited for 3 days. The sun sank and the moon rose repeatedly, and yet not one single more word was uttered. 15 minutes later, I decide that her concentration is indeed unbroken, and also that I have waited long enough to warrant poking her gently on the shoulder to remind her of my presence. Rin turns her head mechanically to my direction, ending up staring at my crotch level. Yep, just Rin things. Oh, it's Hisao. She can tell? I would feel a lot less uncomfortable if she would look at my face. An astute observation. Hard at work, I see. Yes. Training those dick-recognizing skills, I guess. The conversation starts as if I hadn't been here for a quarter of an hour already, but it's not a concern. At least it starts. Yes, at least there is a conversation here, after waiting so long. Looking good. It does. The layers of paint hiding other layers of paint, mixing and shaping the human figures, really creates an impressive look, but Rin looks miffed. You shouldn't comment on a work in progress. 7 years of bad luck. Although I guess we're all fucked up then. Sounds terrible. I guess I take it back then. Still, it looks good. I wonder if I get 14 years of bad luck for thinking that. Rin turns back to look at her painting and pokes it with a big toe. Could you mix some of this color? I'm running out of it. She looks down at a half-empty bowl with the remnants of the same pinkish paint in it. I didn't really intend to stay and help her with this project, though. I guess I didn't intend to do anything much, but you stood here. Might as well help. I look at Rin. She looks emptily back at me. Just this once. Rin picks up another brush and drenches it in another tone of pale red. There are dozens of similar bowls all around her working area. From the looks of this scene, she could have been sitting there for hours. I wonder if she has. That would mean she'd have been skipping school, though, which I of course wouldn't put beyond someone like Rin. I pour a little bit of white and red into the bowl, trying to match the color with the one already on the wall. I can't seem to get it right. It's really inconvenient of her to not mix it enough in the first place. Getting it to be exactly the same tone will be impossible, but at least I can try to get as close as I can. She also has no fucking arms, so this is kind of probably hard to pick up paint buckets. Speaking of hard work, isn't that a huge workload for you too? It's such a big painting and all. Oh, I'm not old and bitter enough yet to think like that. I guess you aren't. You guessed right. Yep, just... whatever, man. Nah, it's great. Nah, it's great that I have this giant fucking painting to finish. Legs hurt, though. They feel like slugs. Slugs made of sea slugs. Yeah, this is just a preview of Rin's route. This is just... it's just shit like this, apparently, for the entire game. And then also Rin in a bin and buying fireworks. Because of the position? Yeah, I like doing it in a horizontal position more, if you know what I'm talking about. God damn it, Rin. But it can't be helped. Can't ask the wall to lay down. Saying that, she stretches herself a little, bending her legs and back far more than human should flex. It's astonishing how effortlessly she manages her body around. Well, she kind of has to be flexible with the whole no legs thing, so she kind of has to move a bit more of everything. But yes, Rin is a cartoon, in more ways than one. There's a small flinch in her otherwise blank expression, a hint of pain maybe, as she stretches out her calves. Rin must have stamina and dexterity far above a normal person to be able to live like she does, but she's wearing out working on this. Why push yourself so much? Take a break or something at least. Continue tomorrow if it's bad. This gives her pause. A long one too, feeling like a mental yawn. I don't think so. He's out. I'm not pushing myself. Sure looks like you are. No, it's not about pushing or pulling or anything related to that kind of thing. There is this boy. A boy? Yes. Where? At the art club. And? He is blind. Oh, how can you paint if you're blind? No idea. So why is he there? That's the point. He is there. She really should speak more than one word at a time to make this feel more like a discussion and less like an interrogation. He can't really do anything that you'd call art, right? But he comes there anyway and paints. Why? I don't know why. I don't know. Why? I don't know. That's why I asked. Can you make sense of this? Because I can. So? He doesn't paint often, but I think his paintings are very interesting. I'm sure they are. I once tried that, painting with my eyes closed. Wasn't too interesting, and cleaning up the floor took ages. Didn't try it again. But he is becoming better at sculpting. I see. Maybe she was trying to make a point with this. Maybe she forgot she had one. Seems like the art club is full of interesting people. Not really. I don't know, third base. Pretty blunt statement. And she totally misses the sarcasm. No? Just like I said, they are not very interesting. I usually don't have much interest in people who are not interesting. Maybe you have. Maybe. But that boy is interesting. Maybe I am like that boy, or maybe you are. Maybe everyone is. Doing things you can't do just because you can. That's pretty deep, I think, and tell that to her. You're a deep one. Nah, I'm a really shallow and thoughtless person. People say that to me all the time. Did you know I can only think of 4 things at the same time? Do you see why people remember this game? No, but now I do. Right now I'm thinking of the second floor girls' toilet, ice cream flavored ice cream. What does that even mean, Rin? The middle toe and a haircut. What the fuck is ice cream flavored ice cream aside from vanilla? That's what it makes me think of. What do you? Man, talking to Rin is punishing. Does the conversation go anywhere? Does talking to Rin go anywhere? I don't know. You'll have to survive her route to figure it out. As I remember... No. I remember the pinnacle explanation of Rin's route, even though I have never seen the route in full, but it's... On her route, you sit with her at night looking at the stars and talking about random shit, and somebody put whatchamacallit, fucking Macho Man Randy Savage just kind of like ranting about nothing. And this is kind of just the best explanation of Rin's route ever. And probably that entire moment. It's just Macho Man Randy Savage just completely rambling about fucking nonsense. And shit that barely makes any sense. It goes to anal. No, it doesn't. No, I know where anal goes, and unfortunately, it's not in this version of the game for presentation's sake here. But you know, we're going there, and I'll be able to tell you if the scene stops short before that scene. Well, we'll see the aftermath, which will very clearly showcase what happened. But you'll know. I'm going to need a haircut. She shakes her head around vigorously, letting her short, messy hair ruffle wildly around. I can see that's doing it is something she likes to do. We fall silent as Rin shreds around absent-mindedly, poking some brushes around. The thought about the art club sticks in my head for a while longer. I feel like I'm treading on very unknown territory with art. The way these meetings with Rin go, it's as though I'm starting a smoking habit or something. I should probably stop talking with her. Well, too fucking bad, Hisao, because she's the wingman on this route. Too fucking bad. It's not like I dislike her, despite the confusion of her being herself. The confusion of her being herself causes. And I don't dislike art either. I've even drawn for fun sometimes. I just don't have a real creative drive or any technical skill. My major problem here is I don't have any fucking drive for anything right now. This is Hisao's kind of major issue. I don't want to do anything! So usually, if I were to draw something, I get white paper syndrome and just freeze completely. That, or I manage to draw something disfigured and promptly get frustrated at my inability to put the picture in my head down on the paper. Then call it quits without really even trying to make an effort. This is how most people interact with art. It's very annoying. Rin clearly doesn't have this problem, but she frustrates me in another way. Being with her is like looking into a mirror that doesn't reflect anything. It makes one question the sanity of the act. You think this is troublesome, but no, I have accepted that the nonsense is entertaining. Rin sits down on her box, swaying from side to side, apparently comfortable with the uncomfortable silence. She is staring at me again, or maybe over my shoulder. I can't quite figure out where her eyes are focused. I'm thinking of leaving so she can carry on working undistracted, and that I can do whatever I'm going to do alone, which is absolutely fucking nothing. It's not like I have anything that must be done today. Oh, shoot. Who? Nobody. I just forgot to tell Hanako that Lily was looking for her. Do you know her from my class? Oh, her. The mystery toilet girl. Oh, fuck, I forgot about that. Ah, yes, more beams surface! Rin, tell us about mystery toilet girl Hanako. That person is funny. I saw her going to the toilet 5 times during one recess 3 weeks ago. I'm sure it's the world record. It was very mysterious. Did losing her arms also kill brain cells? Kill brain cells? She has artists for parents. Are you sure they were there, or actually, are you sure the wiring up there was connected properly to begin with? That's why you call her Mystery Toilet Girl? What other reason could there possibly be? Well, if there is, it's an eternal mystery. I didn't follow her in there. talking with a woman about a woman going to the restroom often? Is that so unusual? Everything Rin does is unusual. Maybe it was the week before that. Could have been. Looking at her makes me hungry. Mmm, bacon. Pissing all by yourself, handsome. But yes, bacon. Don't say that. At least not around her. Rin turns to look at me blankly, as if she's not sure why I reproved her. But she doesn't acknowledge understanding any more than before, so I give up at this point. So do you want to go eat dinner then? No, not yet. Rin has turned her hungry gaze back to the wall, looking slightly more energetic, or at least slightly less lethargic than she did before. It was as if the wall is an opponent she has to vanquish, something she must overcome before she can indulge in dinner. This is the feeling I get. A weird sense of empathy overcomes me and makes me smile a little to myself. For all her oddity, Rin is pretty cool after all. I'll be going anyway. Have fun. Rin has already grasped a brush and is dipping it into fresh paint. So of course she can't hear me anymore or doesn't answer anything even if she does. And then I disappeared. Adhering to the nurse's nagging voice in the back of my head, I set my alarm clock to wake me up early enough to go jogging again. I made a promise and I'm going to keep it. Besides, Emmy is bound to rat on me if I don't show up. It's time. But it's not all that bad. Not yet, anyway. It's time. My morning alarm goes off, and I flail about uselessly for a while until I remember that I decided to give morning runs another shot. I don't know if this was my greatest idea, but I'm determined to keep going. This is about my health, after all. Sure, things haven't been great lately for me, but that hasn't made existence so intolerable that I'm not going to try everything I can to stay healthy. Besides, it's all about asserting some kind of control over this thing, right? If I can manage that, well, I can manage anything. At least that's what I kept telling myself. Or keep telling myself. Is that wonderful sound again? I suppose we can probably turn the volume back up. Once again, it would appear that I'm not alone in my run. Emmy has apparently been here for some time. It looks like she's already worked up a good sweat. Just when the hell does she come down here anyway? Literally the crack of dawn. Oh, it's you. I'm surprised to see you again. Why's that? Well, not many people actually manage to come back for a second try. She frowns, seemingly annoyed by a passing thought. Like the rest of the track team, for instance. Still, it was only supposed to be on a volunteer basis, so it's not that big of a shock. And I guess it's pretty early in the morning. A shrug, and suddenly it appears that she's forgotten what she was talking about. The frown disappears entirely, and she seems to snap back to her previous train of thought. So, come on then. What? You're here to run again, right? Well, yes. So come on! I find myself suddenly grabbed and yanked onto the track. Things seem to be set on mirroring yesterday's run. That is, I seem to be struggling, while Emmy moves with an effortlessness that I find it enviable. It's incredibly bothersome to be so easily worn out. I know I should be patient, work towards things gradually, but that makes me feel like I'm not accomplishing anything at all when I do things like that. It's difficult to stay positive about this, because this sucks. We round the track and start on our second lap. Emmy seems to have grown impatient, keeping pace with me, and begins to pull away. This is where I gave out yesterday. Will I be able to do more? Here we go. So, well, I suppose we'll explain it when we get here. But, what will I do? Person with a heart condition who shouldn't be pushing themselves physically in order to not upset this very delicate condition that which could lead to my death very quickly. I'm gonna be an impulsive moron! What am I doing here? Am I really just going to fold and let Emmy pull ahead? No, I'm not! Fuck her! Literally later, but also in the figurative sense. I speed up. The second lap's done quickly, and without even considering it, I keep going. Emmy looks back over her shoulder at me and grins. Still going? Wouldn't want you to think I'm out of shape. Emmy laughs without breaking her stride, no less, and speeds up even more. Well, if that's the way we're gonna play things. Oh, we're being cheeky, right? Oh, okay. So we're gonna, right, no, so we're gonna, whatchamacallit, we're gonna take jabs at the cripple guy, huh? Right, Miss runs a lot with no legs? All right, well, two can play that fucking game. I increase my own pace as well. Yeah, I can do this. I'm in shape. I can feel my lungs burning, and my legs are starting to question just what the hell I think I am doing. Lactic acid screams in my muscles, but I close my ears. I can't let myself fall behind, because that would be a loss. The rational voice in my head inquires mildly just when we started playing a game. When did I start doing this? I don't fucking care. You know what? I feel like doing something today. I'd answer it, but I'm having a lot of trouble thinking at present. She's so fast. How the hell does she keep... Oh no. It's like a string pulling at my chest. A choking feeling of narrowness and pain. Before I can think of anything else than, oh shit, the track disappears from under my feet. I stumble, one hand shooting down to clutch my chest, the other hitting the track to keep me from falling on my face. Emmy whirls around and her eyes widen. Isao! She yells at me, sprinting from the other side of the track. What's wrong? I'm an idiot? Nothing, just, mild heart condition. Only mostly life-threatening. Keep your breathing steady. Calm down. Don't panic. Don't panic. Do you need me to get the nurse? I close my eyes, shutting out the outside world. My heart struggles to regain its rhythm. Slowly, the pain in my chest begins to subside. Soon, it's gone like nothing happened. It was nothing? No, something happened there. Yeah, I almost fucking died because I'm an impulsive moron and forgot I had a heart condition. I was egged on by a cute girl. I open my eyes again and glance at a very worried Emmy. I think I'm fine. My voice sounds weird even to myself. Oddly even and matter of fact. It makes Emmy frown. I am fine. I have survived the heart attack. I don't think you are. She seems to come to a decision and nods to herself. Right, you're coming with me. You've got to see the nurse. This is gonna seem really funny in the future, but... Emmy grabs my arm and drags me up. I feel a bit wobbly, but I refuse the shoulder Emmy offers to support. Honestly, I'm a little ashamed of my own weakness. I'd really rather not have Emmy concerned about me, but it seems to be too late. Yep, I decided that I'm an impulsive moron. But a lot of people make that decision because they're not really paying attention. Right? They're not really taking it seriously, so they decide to, to race Emmy and You know, they're not really caring. I decided to take that decision because me, taking this seriously and thinking this is myself, thought of the situation and well, it kind of just pricked my pride just a little bit to be, this weak and being outrun by a cute girl with no legs. So, what did I do? I pushed my luck like a complete moron. We are not the same. I made an impulsive decision based upon my own terrible decision making. I'm not like the casual people that gets Emmy's route because they fall for the trap. But here we are! Heck, I'd really rather not have anyone concerned about my condition, though at this point, it seems to be too late for that as well. Yep, Glassman Hisao has been exposed. Oh no. I'd like to be able to deal with the whole thing on my own without being a bother to anyone else. While I'm wishing for things, I'd rather not have this condition in the first place. You know what? You know what? In addition to not having to deal with anyone else's shit over this, I'd rather not even have the damn heart condition to begin with. God, if you're listening, I'm lodging a complaint. Nurse! Emmy crashes into his office without knocking, but it doesn't alarm the nurse in the least. Good morning, Sunshine. What's up? Sunshine? Anyway, he calmly sips from his coffee mug, but lays it down after following Emmy's gaze to me looming in the doorway. Isao, what brings you here? We were running and he stumbled over and started grabbing his chest, and I thought I'd come to get... Easy there, Emmy. Calm down. Yeah, well, at least I made it through most of that before it skipped over. That automatically skipped, so that's one of those lines where it doesn't really matter what she said it too fast. God, I want a refund. Damn straight! You know what? I'm taking my business to Yahweh! How's that, God? Isa, what happened? I made an impulsive decision, like a moron. I don't know, we were running and then my chest started hurting like that time before, but it went away after a few seconds. It was just a flutter or something. The nurse frowns, as if to say that just a flutter is some kind of oxymoron. I didn't mean quite like this when I suggested to get some exercise. You've got to be more careful, Isa. I was being careful, I just wasn't being fucking careful. I just forgot I had a heart condition and decided to race the head of the track team. Look, she was making fun of me with her eyes, I could see it. Come to think of it, I just got into a race with a member of the track team. Doesn't seem as well-reasoned as I thought it would. Yep. I just wanted some cripple action. Well, we've got that now in spades. You just what? That is... I was racing Emmy. Emmy, is this true? Emmy fidgets, looking adorably contrite. Well, we may have been up to some things? Physical things? Some would call it a competition? Some would call it a cooperative experience? Finally, she can't seem to bring herself to say it aloud, and merely nods. The nurse sighs and rubs his forehead with one hand tiredly. Emmy, you've got to be more sensitive to the limits of others. I don't know if he told you, but Hisa has a bad heart, and getting him to race you was incredibly irresponsible. Actually, I started it. Again, because I'm a moron, but actually she started it when she decided she was going to run faster than me and look at me like I was going slow. I saw it. You know what? I decided to say, screw that! I'm gonna race her, I can go faster than her, I'm a man, I can beat a girl on the track! And then I had a heart attack. And the reason reason why I make this statement is, again, because it felt like the right call to me, even though it was a terrible call in retrospect because I have a heart condition. But I felt like me, in this situation, would make the same stupid, impulsive call. And that's why we're going where we're going. And everyone who knows me would probably back up, yeah, no, that sounds like Goad. Even though we can't use that name anymore. The nurse is stunned by my statement. You what? We were just running and Emmy started to pull away, so I, sped up to catch her. I mean, she does have a really nice ass. Anal and all. The nurse stares at the ceiling, mutters a prayer for patience to some god or another, and looks back down at the both of us. So you're both stupid. Yep, guilty as charged. Take us away. Yeah, Half-Life heart monitor flatline. Yeah, also, yeah, that and also like the flesh crunching sound like built into it. You know what I mean. You falling to your death in Half-Life 2. Just the collection of sounds that come from that. Maybe the gravity gun clanging against the ground as well. Just, you know, slightly off in the distance. That's a comfort, I guess. Now, come on, Hisao. I've got to make sure your heart's not going to explode or something. Aw, man. I dutifully obey and follow him to the adjacent room, where we ascertain that I am, in fact, not going to keel over and die. So how does it feel? I don't know. Nothing much. Tired, but it might be just from the exercise. You should stay here for a few hours and rest, and we'll see how you feel after that. Not going to object, so I lie down on the infirmary bed. A thoroughly miserable Emmy comes in after getting an earful from the nurse in the other room. I couldn't hear what he said through the closed door, but I'm sure it wasn't pleasantries. Look, I'm really, really sorry. I should have been more careful. Hey, you didn't know. It's not your fault. We were both acting incredibly stupid, but she was just doing her normal thing. I'm the moron here. And we fucked the cripple? Well, this is the nurse's office, and I am lying in a bed with apparently a door between us and any adults. So we could do that, but we're not going to do that. The scene is writing itself, though. You'd be forgiven for being mistaken. No, not yet. She looks awfully down and sorry, and my reassurances don't do anything much to cheer her up. I want to make it up to you. Again, with that decisive nod. So you have to come to lunch with me. I'll bring it for you, okay? Something really, really good. I start with a, you don't have to, but then shut up and just nod at her when I see her face. Good! We meet on the roof. Yep, the roof. Lunch on the roof. We? Yep, the weather's nice now, so the roof's a great spot for lunch, you know. I see. You'll come, right? You wouldn't deny me the chance to make it up to you. Of course not. Great, see you there. I stay afloat somewhere between asleep and awake, feeling completely drained. Not only my body, but all of me is limp and paralyzed apart from my senses. I swallow with difficulty and then try to lie as still as I can, which in this state is not a very hard thing to do. The nurse is shuffling around on the other side of the curtains he drew to give me privacy. I can see his shadow shifting about the sunlight. He has opened the window of his office. It's windy outside. The clean white curtains flutter in the breeze in a heavy, lazy motion, like waves. Light sifts through them slowly, half absorbing into the fabric. I close my eyes. The breeze on my face feels like the soft fabric of the curtains. I listen to the sound of my heartbeat for a moment, trying to shut out the sound of the nurse tapping away on his computer, and my own heavy breathing. It's steady. Damn it. Not even a week, and I end up like this again. I really screwed up this time. Should have known better than to the half-baked sports star in front of a real one. Man's gotta have his pride, though. I did it my way, after all. And why did I try to act brave? Like that heart flutter was no big deal, even when it was obvious that it was. It was just a reflex, to push it away, to keep it inside. I don't want it to happen. I didn't want it to happen. I didn't want Emmy to see it. Ah. Stupid, 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 stupid. I did something stupid because I wanted to impress a girl. Yep. Yep, this would be me. I have to be more careful, or I will end up in hospital again, or worse. That's my final thought before I give in to the tiredness. I fell asleep. For how long? What time is it? I'm feeling a little lightheaded, and I keep blinking compulsively. Pushing the curtain aside, I squint my eyes against the unfiltered light pouring in from the window. The texture of the canvas feels nothing like the wind did before. The nurse looks up from his work, sitting exactly where he was before. How are you feeling? I can't really tell, so I don't answer anything. I'm feeling kind of groggy from falling asleep at such a weird time. Hopefully, I don't look too weird. What time is it? Me croaking the question to gain some orientation, the nurse looking at his wristwatch before answering. Things seem to happen in slow motion. 10:15. I try to think for a minute what that means, but I'm not really sure. You didn't answer my question, he said. Oh, fine. Climb down from that bed then, and let's see how you're doing. Don't. I tried to do exactly that, only to sway dizzily when I move too fast. The nurse moves to support me by the arm and sighs. Stand up too quickly is what I was going to say. Just sit there. I'll check your pressure to make sure. Only a minor heart problem? Only slightly? Well, the vast majority of it is life-threatening. Fine, though. I can shrug off a hit or two. I'm young. My good intentions sure lasted for a long time. I shut up, embarrassed with myself, while the nurse gets busy with an old-fashioned contraption and my arm. After a couple of minutes, he puts it away, looking neither pleased nor happy. You're all right. Head stop spinning? Yeah. Good. And how are the contents doing? You didn't show very good judgment out there, he said. Yeah, how's your brain? Yeah. Your head's fine. How's the brain? It doesn't seem like it's in a good shape. I swallow the retort I was going to make. It's what I was thinking myself, but hearing it stated by someone else makes me want to protest. What he's saying is not pleasant to hear. Doesn't make him any less right. No, sir. He nods, still looking as neutral as he was before. It would be easy to be angry at him if he said "told you so" or something, but he doesn't. I can try and help you keep your health, but ultimately the last call lies with you. Hopefully this little episode will be something that'll remind you of that. Here, a note for your teacher to avoid interrogation. I take the slip of paper he's offering and then make my leave, as I can't think of anything else to say, nor even really want to. Stay out of trouble, you hear me? I don't think it was anything but a scare, but next time it could be different. I hear you. There is some way to get to the school building straight from the auxiliary building, but I'm not keen to find out and possibly get lost. So I go out from the exit that I know works. Yeah, I could learn how to navigate this place, but you know what? I'm just going to keep going through the same place. I stop at the stairs of the auxiliary building, deliberating for a moment between going to the dorms to get my books and stuff and going straight away to the class. The sun stings my eyes, so I head towards the dorms. halls are quiet as the courtyard was. Naturally so, since everyone is in class. I knock lightly at the door of 3-3 and push open the door when Muto calls from the other side. Sorry I'm late. 15 pairs of eyes turn to me. Good morning, Nakai. Muto seems to be somewhat confounded by my coming in late, as if I interrupted his flow or something. Judging from the rambling lectures his class tends to be, that might be the case. I pass him the note the nurse gave me. Muto takes it with a nod and reads it quickly. He lifts his eyebrow and gives me a kind of stern look, but doesn't say anything, just nods solemnly again. I shrug and he gestures at me to run along, so I naturally do. The class goes lazily. I think I'm starting to get into the rhythm of the school. You know, aside from the accidentally almost killing myself. But don't worry, there's an ending where you actually kill yourself, and she helps. I've even stopped worrying about taking notes and being overtly attentive. The first days, I was pretty high-strung in class. Muto finishes his lecture about electricity early, but continues without a pause about the festival. So as you know, the festival is on the day after tomorrow. I hope everyone's projects are going to be successful this year. Have a good time, but also come Sunday, please keep the meaning of this festival in your minds. Games and fried food. Everyone bursts out in laughter, and so do I. Yes, thank you, Mikado. But what I mean is, I don't finish that sentence. The remainder of his sentence is buried beneath the ring of the lunch bells, and everyone starts packing their things. Muto deliberates for a moment, but since almost nobody seems to pay attention anymore, he gives up and sits down. This festival has meaning. Seriously, we're just gonna make a joke of never telling you what the meme festival is about. We just have a festival in the school because fucking every Japanese school has a festival for some bizarre ass reason. We have a reason for ours. We're just not gonna tell you. It's crowded in the hallway, or as crowded as hallways in this school probably get. Most of the students seem to be heading down for the cafeteria. Normally I join the flow and grab lunch myself, but today is different. Today I've been invited to lunch on the roof. Yes, the bonus consolation prize for nearly killing myself. An odd location, but that's where I was told to go. Fortunately, I managed to find shelter from the storm in the lee of the classroom door. And then everyone is suddenly gone. Eventually, the torrent subsides, and I step tentatively out into the hallway. Only to be met by Emmy, who comes flouncing down the hallway like a cannonball. Ah, not my chest! Hey, Hisao, great timing. I have super extra lunch today, as promised. Let's go upstairs. The stairway to the roof is a little dilapidated, but it's clearly been used recently. At the top of the stairs is a door, complete with missing padlock. Yes, because that, no one's gonna say anything about that one. I wonder who the intrepid individual was that removed the lock, and why no one notices that it's gone and replaces it. Emmy shoves the door open and steps beaming into the sunlight. Suddenly, a tall, dark stranger appears out of nowhere, standing imposingly in front of us. Emmy flinches back, almost falling back down the stairs. Eek. Hello? Ah, yes, the dual boxes. Yipes, you scared me, Rin. Wait, isn't she... Hello? Yep, it's Rin. Well, folks, this is our dynamic duo for the evening here, or at this entire route. Did you enjoy Rin? Good, because you're getting more of her. Noticing that Rin is speaking to me, Emmy looks curiously at me. You two know each other? I look confusedly at Emmy. She's that friend of yours? Rin has turned her gaze towards the clouds drifting above the school. I didn't know you knew this person, Emmy. The awkward silence lasts for only a few seconds until Emmy lets out a tiny giggle, shrugging the coincidence off. I invited Hisao for lunch. If you know him, that's just better. Oh, does it mean I don't get food? Or did you invite him for lunch without the lunch? Neither. I have food for 3. Nice thinking. They walk to the other end of the roof where I stay at the clock tower, for a while, taking in the atmosphere. There is nobody else but us here. I guess the roof is not as popular as it is in other schools. Yes, but also because it would be rather awkward if multiple people were sitting on the roof while we were trying to have our fucking nice wholesome moments. So everyone else is not allowed to be up here. Just like nobody else gets the main protagonist seat in the back left of the classroom. A few rundown benches and tables are scattered around the edges, perhaps in an attempt to make the roof look less desolate. The small pebbles covering the roof rattle beneath our feet. I peek through the chain link fence to take a look at the school grounds and beyond. Students are strolling in pairs and groups around the quadrangle at the cafeteria. That's a fucking word. That is certainly a word. A few delivery trucks are driving past the school towards the convenience store nearby. You know, for a cripple school, you'd think that they'd have them anti-suicide barriers. Well, these are kind of that, but those aren't really stopping anyone. They need to be like this tall. Most of them are crippled and can't climb. Yes, They're like, sure, this is sufficient suicide barricade for a crippled school, because they're all crippled. They can't get up there. I mean, look at Rin. She doesn't even have any arms. How could she climb? Somewhere a watchdog barks at a passerby. Somehow, when I look towards the town center, the small town feel strikes me very strongly, almost palpably. The hectic lifestyle of big metropolis seem so far away and foreign to me. Nobody has to run to catch a bus like their life depends on it, or get their senses overloaded by the neon lights and traffic jams. As a kid who grew up in New York, I understand these feelings. Unfortunately, I didn't get my, my wholesome small-town anime experience at any point in my life either. So I can't say if this is real, if this is real, or Hisao's just talking shit and the whole anime's talking shit about how nice rural Japan is. Or rather, well, suburban Japan, I suppose, at this point. I feel surprisingly optimistic about this new life of mine, looking at my new hometown, even if it's going to be mine for only one short year. Yeah, I feel optimistic after almost dying. Finding out about my illness and having to move away from home all came so suddenly. I haven't had time to think how I feel about it. I actually hate it. That's why it was so simple. That's why I stopped thinking about it almost immediately. The answer is I hate it. When I stepped out of the shadow of the clock tower to the open, I feel warmth touching my back. The sun shines from a perfectly clear cerulean sky. A cool breeze sweeping over the rooftop makes me shiver, but only briefly. The wind carries the scent of trees and flowers, not smog and car exhaust like it used to, just a few weeks ago. Nah, fuck that. That's home. WD-40 and dust. That's the smell of my garage in my old home. Grandfather used to work and tinker with a lot of things in there. That smell is nostalgic. It's the smell of any kind of car garage. You walk in, you smell it. You pick up the scent immediately, even if you can't define it. It's fucking oil, WD-40, and dust. Emmy settles on a bench with Rin in tow and produces one big and two small lunchboxes from her bag. Come on, Hisao, what are you waiting for? I'm giving the cameraman a workout so he can pan the camera around and we can see the totally made the fuck up town of Yakumu. We're gonna have that real experience here where we're just idyllic and I can sit here thinking about how different it is. I'm surrounded by women too. Before I wasn't surrounded by women and now I am. Wow! The women have actually multiplied. Before it was one woman, now it's two. We're on the up and up here. She's beckoning me to join them, making room on the already small bench. I seat myself on the corner of the bench and take as little space as possible. It's pretty cramped, but somehow all three of us fit on it. Speaking of multiplying, they're also getting larger. In zoom and enhance. Impressive view. Emmy suppresses a giggle and places a lunchbox in front of Rin, and hands another lunchbox to me. Here you go, lunch as promised. Homemade, no less. I'm impressed. Wow, this looks really good. Thanks, I make them myself when I can. Conversation die off as I set about the business of feeding myself. Taking a few bites, I glance up and notice Rin deftly opening the lunchbox and popping a forkful of food in her mouth using only her feet. On a crowded bench, no less, so that's some moving around there. Even though I've seen it before, I can't help but be impressed at her dexterity. It's also a reminder of the sort of place I am right now. Yes, a girl with no legs, a girl with no arms, and me, the crippled glass man. Will I ever get used to sights such as this? Well, you're gonna have to, because we're gonna be seeing this for the entire rest of the route. We're already doomed. We don't know it yet. We just haven't realized it yet. We haven't gotten the CG. Or rather, the animation, not just the CG. I can't decide if getting used to such a thing would be a good thing or a bad thing either. Does getting used to this place mean that I'm giving up on being a normal person? Or does it just mean that I'm becoming more understanding about those around me? I'm distracted from my thoughts by the sight of Emmy tearing into her lunch as if it had insulted her ancestors. You seem pretty hungry. Emmy looks up, mouth half full, and swallows before nodding. My morning run always works up an appetite. Which is great because then I burn through lunch pretty quickly. Helps me keep my girlish figure. What would happen if you'd lose it? Would you become a man? Amazing, really hard-hitting questions from Rin. I very nearly choke on my lunch trying not to laugh. It's a figure of speech. Does your figure have to run in the morning too? Do you always talk like this? Talk like what? Yeah, that's a yes. That is a yes. I think that answers my question. Never mind. So, I struggle to think of small talk and settle on the obvious question. How'd you two meet? Rin seems content to let Emmy answer this question. Someone in the housing department thought we'd complete each other well, so we were assigned rooms next to one another. Complement each other? Like shoes and a suit. Huh? Emmy giggles at my confusion. Put us together and we've got all our limbs. Get it? Ah. So I started helping Rin get ready in the mornings, and that was that. I mean, you can't help someone get dressed every morning and not get along. I see. Rin chooses this moment to interject. I have trouble with shirts. Right, that seems fairly obvious. Really? Kind of. This isn't helping, but at least Emmy seems to find the whole thing funny. That, combined with the fact that Rin is genuinely curious, makes me feel slightly better and yet confused. I mean, you've got no arms. So putting on a shirt seems like one of the things that would be difficult. You know what? I'm just gonna stop talking now. It'll save me a lot of trouble in the long run. Rin nods in what I suspect is meant to be a sage manner. I see. The conversation dies as I turn my attention back to my lunch. It's really quite good. Emmy finishes her lunch first and makes a contented noise. Ah, that was good. As she busies herself with cleaning up her lunch, Rin speaks up. I'm thirsty. Oh, I almost forgot about that, sorry. With a flourish, she reaches into her bag and removes a trio of juice boxes. She tosses me one that appears to be cranberry juice, one to Rin that appears to be some kind of strawberry milk, complete with pink color scheme, and keeps an equally pink box of some kind of fruit punch for herself. Rin dexterously stabs her straw through the top of her box and begins to drink. I'm once again impressed by how flexible she is, but this time I keep my comment to myself. Somehow I don't think either Emmy or Rin are the sorts of people to think twice about the way they work around their particular disabilities. Rin especially so. Indeed, she gives off the impression of being entirely unaware that she's missing any limbs at all. Whether or not that's a conscious decision is another matter. I'm honestly not sure. So, Hisao, how do you like it up here? It's quite nice, actually. I like high places for the view. Thanks for inviting me up here. And for the lunch, too. Emmy grins a 1,000-watt grin, pleased by my response, I suppose. No problem. Feel free to eat with us next time, too, okay? I won't make you a lunch, but you can bring your own up here. No lunch service? I don't know. Ah, man, that's kind of make or break for the whole deal up here. Spending time with two cute, quirky girls on top of a school with free lunch. It's fantastic, but oh no, that's not part of the continued service. That's just a free trial thing. Oh. Emmy looks mock offended. Trying to take advantage of my good nature? The nerve. She giggles. Well, if that's your answer, I guess Rin and I will just keep eating lunch all alone. How are you all alone? I mean, you know, I suppose Rin is sometimes barely distinguishable as a person from absolutely nothing, but you're not alone. I'm sure Rin just kind of barely qualifies as being real sometimes, so, you know, I can somewhat understand that one, but you're not alone if there's two of you up here. Next, you're going to say they'll give you dating practice, and we'll be all set for school days. Oh, dear God. Well, we are definitely having some days at a school right now. No one's getting stabbed, though. I am suddenly assaulted by the most heart-rending puppy dog eyes I've ever seen as Emmy pouts. Kidding, I was kidding. I'd love to eat lunch up here again. Good location, and the company's okay, too. Emmy frowns a bit at my declaration of okay, but seems happy enough that I've accepted her invitation. I guess this makes us friends now. All I had to do was almost fucking kill myself. Wow. Is that how you pick up chicks? You just almost kill yourself in front of them? Is that how it works? I've never stopped to answer this question, or rather ask this question, and deeply ponder upon it. Women are sympathetic to that sort of thing, I hear. Suicide is badass. I also hear it's painless. But, or at least acquaintances. Man, that's a fucking chime. The lunch bell rings, signaling a return downstairs. Rin, you didn't finish your lunch again. I wasn't that hungry. If you don't eat more, you're going to fade away. Rin shrugs as if this is an acceptable risk. Come on, we better get going. The three of us head down the stairs together. The afternoon class passes. Once again, I find myself without a plan for something to do after school, so I head to the library to return a couple of the books I finished reading. Walking inside, I see there are about as many students here as there were on Tuesday. All the more evident from the almost total silence enveloping the room. Thud. As I drop the books I borrowed into the return slot on the counter, Yuko suddenly pops up from behind it, quite startled from the banging they make as they hit the trolley next to her. Ah, sorry Yuko, didn't mean to startle you. No, that's fine, it happens a lot. I'm used to it by now. Clearly you're not! Can I help you? It's okay, I think I know where everything is. Thanks anyway. I suppose I'll grab another book or two while I'm here. There's not much else to do, and after reading so much during my stay at the hospital, it's become a hard habit to break. I wander down to the fiction section towards the back of the library, scanning the bookshelves for anything that catches my eye. As I do, I look over in the corner where Hanako had been last time I was here, not really expecting anything to come of it. Surprisingly, though, she's there, absorbed completely in a fairly thick book. I decide against intruding on her like last time and get back to finding reading material. Ah, the route's not taken. After an indiscernible amount of time spent perusing the aisles, I finally decide on a couple of books to get and slide them off the shelf. With a minimum of fuss, I quickly walk over to the counter, check out my books, and pop them into my bag as I walk out. By the time I leave the main building, sunset isn't too far away. A small trickle of students remain, but the majority have left, presumably to their homes and dorms. Feeling utterly drained, I head to my room to read the books I borrowed. Well, head back to my... The music's really distracting. Good lord, this track. I head to my room to read the books I borrowed. There's been enough action and excitement for one day already. Yes, I nearly died and possibly have a girlfriend now. Actually, it's definitely now, but we'll work up to that. The first is Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. I know the story, of course, but I've never actually read the original book. Just as trippy as I remember the story to be, with the wacky characters and nonsense plot. I start thinking to myself as some kind of Alice, too, haplessly tumbling down the rabbit hole in this cripple wonderland. Don't say that out loud, though. Okay, that's a rather strong expression. Still, the isolated location and the overt way the school accommodates to absolutely everything is unsettling. It's like another world. I wonder why I can't shake the feeling of being an outsider like Alice, despite most everyone being so hospitable and friendly with me. Turning out the page, my mind starts drifting further away from the book. It's quiet. I can hear my heartbeat thumping against the fabric of my shirt. For some reason, it makes me feel really bad, like it has since that time in the forest with Awanako. Like I was locked in a cage with something nasty and scary. I put the book down for a while and stare at the ceiling, taking my time to shake off the feeling, and putting the volume back up to normal levels. 200 pages later, I fall asleep. Quick fucking reader. I don't read that fast. In fact, I barely read at all. But yes, that's another funny one. A writer that doesn't read. The students roll into class for the Saturday morning session. Each and every one of them sporting the tired eyes of people who have worked through the night. With only a day left to prepare, I suppose it's not surprising. And not so surprising. Thankfully, we only have to suffer through classes until lunch break, and then our time is our own. Muto lurches into class in a tired stagger. I suppose students aren't the only people here that enjoy their late Friday nights. Without saying a word, he scrolls some page and question numbers on the board and slumps down at his desk. It's completely atypical behavior for him, but it appears that no one in the class is going to call him out for it, or call him out on it. Wordlessly, the students shuffle their textbooks into position and get to work. Not wanting to break the trend, I do the same. Saturday school, yes, because, festival stuff, I suppose. Half day. Alright, now I'm remembering this whole thing. The introduction goes until the festival, and that's when we actually depart from a route. Or depart to a route, depending on our previous choices. Fatigue has made the class antisocial. Not a peep is heard among the ruffling papers. That can partially be attributed to the two empty seats behind me. For some reason, Misha and Shizune aren't present, probably doing council work for the festival. It's very quiet without Misha present. I wonder if she was born as rowdy as she is, or if she is making up for Shizune's lack of voice. Nakai, can I speak to you for a moment? I'm so engrossed in thinking about Misha that I don't even notice Muto approaching my desk. Sure, what's this about? It's probably better if we speak outside the classroom. Something about this doesn't sound too good, but I stand up and follow him out into the hallway. Yep, time to get yelled at for being a moron. Muto stands in the hallway, scratching his head as he works out what he's trying to say. Not knowing what's going on, I wait silently. I heard from the school's head nurse that you had an incident the other day. Ah, so it's about that. So have you hit on any of them cripple bitches yet? I'm trying, boss. Good man. Well, kind of, but it's not anything to be worried about. Yes, it is. Anything that can endanger your health is something to be worried about. We try our best here to prepare you for life here. Part of that involves knowing your limits and how to work around them. It would be remiss of me if I didn't speak up about this. All right, I get it. I'm sorry. Muto closes his eyes in frustration, and I realize that this probably wasn't the best thing to say. Something tells me that you're not sorry. Pretend as much as you want, but this isn't a normal school. A lot of people have put in a lot of time, effort, and money to make sure that you and every other student here can have the same level of education as your peers. For you to abuse that by throwing out advice, especially medical advice, is plain selfish. I'm not quite sure if this is actually how he feels, or if this is some act that he's practiced many times to guilt trip students into doing the right thing. Either way, it's working. I understand. This is all new to me, and I apologize. I know my limits now, and I'll be sticking to them. Muto appears to lighten up a little, satisfied that his message has been received. So then, on to my next question. How are you finding your studies? I understand you were laid up for a while. We're not too far ahead, are we? I don't really think so. I tried to keep up when I was in the hospital, so it hasn't been too hard. Muto taps his chin and raises an eyebrow as he absorbs this information. Is that so? I suppose there are still students out there who realize the importance of learning. Yes! Education! I wouldn't go that far. I was only trying to keep myself occupied in my little life support prison. Yes, I was trying to keep myself busy in the iron lung, Muto. It wasn't because I'm really just enamored with education. I had literally nothing to do. Well, yeah, you've gotta keep up with these things, right? That's it exactly. One wrong move in this world and you're left behind, right? Right? Right. Wouldn't want that to happen. No, you wouldn't. Every week there's a new scientific discovery. Most of them mean nothing to the layperson, but any of them could be the key to the next big thing. I'll keep that in mind. It's obvious that Muto's serious talk is over, and now he's gone back to standard, slightly scatterbrained approach to life. I think in hindsight that I prefer him this way. He's slightly more predictable in this unpredictability. Well then, I think that's all I really had to say. Let's get back inside, shall we? My relief at that suggestion is insurmountable. Sure, you're the boss, right? Muto pauses for the moment. I don't think any of my students have ever said that to me before. For an instant, I consider replying to this, but something deep within me tells me to shut my mouth and get back in the classroom. A few of the students jump at the sound of the door, rapidly trying to pretend that they are working on the questions on the board. Some don't even bother, their heads slumped on the desk as they nap. Thankfully, it would appear that Muto does not even notice them. He returns to his desk and retrieves a scientific journal from one of the drawers. I guess I got to him there. The class returns to the near silence that Muto and I Muto and I left it in before our chat. Mixed feelings of tiredness and anticipation buzz around the room. Everyone here is waiting for a chance to rest or the chance to get their last-minute preparations underway. The clock on the wall slowly ticks the remaining class time away until finally the bells cry out, ending the torment. Before you all leave, I expect the answers for those problems by Monday. The class sighs as one, instantly regretting slacking off, but still acutely aware of the more pressing issues at hand. The classroom empties in a blink as everyone rushes to their last-minute festival preparations. I stay behind and try to quickly finish the questions so I don't have to bother with it over the rest of the weekend with the festival and all tomorrow. Apart from me, Hanako's the only one left, obviously waiting for Lily. It's weird that Lily comes all the way to our classroom to pick her up. I expect that moving around is at least nominally harder for her than it is for Hanako. But that's none of my business, and I naturally don't ask about it from Hanako. Despite the relative proximity of our seats, neither tries to strike up a conversation about that or anything else or anything else either. So an oppressive silence falls upon the classroom. Time passes in silence, and it's probably just 15 minutes or so, but it feels longer. I turn the pages of my notebook. Hanako turns the pages of the novel she's reading. My pencil lead splinters against the paper just as I was about to finish a paragraph. The sound of my irritated sigh and subsequent fumbling around for a sharpener feel like they're breaking the mood in the classroom. Wasn't it oppressive? So that should be a good thing? Hanako keeps her eyes firmly away from my direction. Before long, Lily's tall figure appears in the doorway. Hanako? Her name is all it takes to make Hanako jump up from her desk and run to Lily. They talk quietly for a moment, but it isn't long before Lily leaves down the hall and Hanako idles back into the classroom, taking her seat once again. I watch Hanako out of the corner of my eye out of sheer curiosity at the idea that the two would be separated. For a couple of minutes, she does nothing but sit with her chin in her hand, staring at the desk dejectedly. The boredom evidently becomes too much for her, though. Her slender frame reaching into her bag and pulling out a small book. Come to think of it, that isn't the one I saw her reading at the library. She must be quite a fast reader to get through them at this rate. After about 10 minutes of restlessly shuffling in her seat and trying to read, Hanako closes her book and leaves, too. As should I, since the assignment is all but finished and there is nothing else to do in the classroom. Not that I have anything to do elsewhere either. school's a beehive of activity, but nobody pays me any heed. I saunter past the classrooms filled with students frantically doing this and that, buzzing around like little worker bees. You wouldn't guess the school day is over. It's a bit quieter outside, but not by much. People zip by, left and right, hurrying as quickly as they can, busy and energetic. I feel the opposite. The midday sun seems to be draining all the spirit out of my body, making it feel limp all over. Warm, soft air flows inside my shirt, feeling like a cushion. I yawn, lazily, thinking about what I'd do. I'll drop off my books at the dorms first, and then something I haven't decided yet. Maybe Kenji's in his room. Yeah, let's go hang out with Kenji, for no reason at all. I'm sure that'll be great. On the way to the dorms, I spot Emmy coming my way, running despite not having those weird running prosthetics on. I wave at her and she skids to a stop. Yo, he's out. Spatters of white and green paint adorn her nose and chin respectively, but her smile is wide, as it seems it always is. Get some whiskey and go on the rooftop. It'll be fine. Uh-huh. She leans closer to me, amplifying the feeling she is examining. What you doing? Nothing really. I don't have anything to do for the festival, and everyone else seems to be doing something important. That's perfect. Then you can help me and Rin. Yep. Well, there we go. With the festival preparations, I'm not sure if I would be much help. That's fine. I'm not much help either. Emmy grabs my wrist and starts dragging me back inside the school quite forcefully. Even her walking speed is more like jogging, making me stumble over myself simply trying to keep up. Didn't we have a talk about how we should not be pushing the glass man around? Did we have a talk about this? I stare slow Emmy down a little bit. Maybe it's hard to climb with her legs. Or maybe she's finally run out of breath. We go all the way back up to the 3rd floor and to the seniors' hallway, ending up where I left 5 minutes ago. I could have just as well stayed here waiting for Emmy had I known. So are you... Is Rin working on that mural still? That's right, she needs all kinds of paints and brushes and stuff, so I went to get them from the art classroom. And you need me to help with that. Well, Rin told me you already helped her, so I thought you wouldn't mind. I see. So thanks to Emmy's flaky logic, here I am again, collecting stuff from the art room for other people. Yep. I must be stuck in a time loop. The room is empty apart from ourselves and the lonely specks of dust floating in the air. Emmy skips straight away to the back wall, digging out a tiny crumpled piece of paper from her pocket. While she tries to make sense of the scrawled handwriting, I take a closer look at the materials lying around here. Dozens of paint cans and bottles are arranged on the shelves in a mostly unorganized fashion. Some look like they've been left here for several decades, relics of previous art club generations. Next to the heavy stacks of neatly piled drawing paper are boxes full of different sized brushes and unsorted crayons. The smells of paint, turpentine, and fresh paper float in the stale air, mixing in my nostrils to form that unmistakable scent of art. Yes, art. Emmy studies her notes, comparing them to markings on various paint cans, and passes them to me as she finds the correct matches. She stretches her neck to look at the topmost shelf, but it's not quite enough. Her eye level stays below the shelf no matter what she does. Emmy gives up and just looks up to the shelf longingly, like a child at a toy store, huffing in annoyance. After a moment of building anger, she starts to jump up and down, apparently trying to speed read the labels during the fraction of a second she can see them, and catch what she can. Yep. Lovable moron girl moment. It's no surprise that she fails miserably and almost manages to bring the entire shelf crashing down. Now I see why me lending a hand would be useful. Come on, let me do that. You can't jump high enough, and I don't want you to hurt yourself trying. I'm also like twice your height. You are not. She turns around, flaring scorn, flushed cheeks and all. Just kidding, just kidding. Anyway, I'll look up there, okay? She glares at me one more time, but can't come up with a retort. With a grudging hum, she turns her back to me. So I begin scrounging around the top shelf for paint, while below, Emmy crouches to scavenge what she can from the cupboards. I shake my head a little after double-checking to ensure she can't see me do so. Emmy having a complex about her height was a surprise. I wouldn't have joked about it otherwise. She seems easygoing, but I guess everyone has their weak spots. Only after we have almost all the items collected and spread out on the desk like a treasure hunter's spoils do I realize it wasn't necessarily the height jab that got her riled up. She might not like to be told that she can't do something, like jump. But Emmy herself seems to have forgotten all about it already. Quick to anger, quick to forgive. Is she that type of person? At least she doesn't seem to have taken anything to heart, as she chatters away happily while we pick up the rest of the items and then make our way back to Rin. Chivalrously, that's a word. Chivalrously. Sorry, English is very difficult today. Carry the bulk of materials as we make our way towards the dormitories. Rita's really stressed about getting her paintings done. It's her own fault, though. She should have started earlier. Is she going to make it? No idea. It looks good to me, but Rin, you never know what's going on. I found her this morning lying in front of the dorm in fetal position. She hadn't slept all night. I can't believe that the night nurses hadn't found her. Now she's painting again like crazy. Yeah, I've noticed that she comes off as kind of unhinged, so to speak. Emmy giggles at that, as well as at my likely too obvious awkwardness. I don't mind. She's just a little weird sometimes. On that, I can agree. Unlike me, Emmy seems to be cool with Rin's whatever it is that feels so off about her. Still, they don't feel close like Nisha and Shizune. With them working as a single entity sometimes, it's hard to say where one ends and the other begins. Even though they're so different, just like Emmy and Rin are. And Rin is the most different of them all, different from anyone else I've met. Yeah, I guess she's a very unique person. I return to that word again, as if it encompasses Rin's personality by itself, but really it's just a substitute for a lengthy description of her objects. You ever wonder about the folly in this background? These people? Where did they come from? Who are they? What are they talking about? Mama, 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 mama. It's probably Charlie Brown speaking in the background if you can relate. There's a couple of yeahs in there. I'm not sure. Are they as dead as the 50s canned audio laughter? Shit, I hadn't thought about that one. That's dark. Yeah, everybody in the 50s canned audio laugh tracks is dead by now. That's the laugh of dead people. Man. Hadn't thought about that one. Emmy giggles as I grasp about for a properly descriptive word. She's just weird. Earlier she just spent half an hour sitting on her box and stared at her toes. She giggles again in a way that makes me think she doesn't know what's funny about it, about it, it just is. All that time. The working area is a mess, but the mural itself has taken over even more of the wall since I last saw it. The disfigured human figures have been mostly colored in tones of red, pink, and orange. Weird imagery, imaginary things populating the spaces between. It looks nice. I can't think of any word that would describe the work concisely and comprehensively, so I settle myself on the nondescript nice. But honestly, it seems that the area around the wall becomes untidier at the same rate as the mural progresses. The ground is littered with dozens of paint cans, various art supplies, and empty soda bottles. Rin herself is at the center of this chaos, standing there looking very cozy as if she was a natural part of the scene. Her pant. Oh hey, look! A spelling mistake 1,000,000 years old! Her pant legs have been rolled up to her knees, exposing her thin legs, which sport a drying spectrum of war paintings similar to those on Emmy's face. How did Rin get permission to do for this painting? They just probably selected her and say, you, draw something. Or they asked for volunteers, I guess. You, art girl with rich art parents, draw something. Quick, monkey. Clap! Emmy sprints to Rin ahead of me and gleefully jumps in front of her. I'm back! That was fast. Did you run in the corridors again? Hisao helped me. Emmy points victoriously at me. Rin turns around, following Emmy's finger with her eyes, looking in my general direction. She nods absent-mindedly at me. She looks like she hasn't slept since last night. A vacant, glazed stare that's focused slightly off me, and movements like in a slow-motion movie. Hello, Hisao. Thank you for your help. You, yes, you, autistic girl, make paint. Yes. Don't mention it. I just did. Never mind. Looks like you've made progress. Looking good as far as I can tell. But now you get more bad luck. I know, but I'm willing to take the risk. That's a very nice thing to say. For me, of course, not for you. This is why artists are always unlucky. They have to constantly look at their unfinished paintings. So artists can't find romance, their favorite TV shows are canceled, or they die young because of an unspecified disease. It's a deep and mysterious law of the universe. Do many of them also chop off their ears? Unless they are blind. She considers this for a while, looking like she's going to fall asleep. There is a boy. At the art club, you see. Blind boy. So he doesn't see. You already told me. I glance sideways at Emmy, and she glances back in a way that tells me she has heard this one before, too. Neither of us says anything to Rin, though. She continues her monotone soliloquy like an unfunny stand-up comedian. He should become an artist. No bad luck, guaranteed. Don't you think that would be a good idea? That only blind people should become artists? No, not as such. You might have a point. Abandoning this train of thought, she turns again to consider her work and starts humming a tune that I think I recognize but can't remember the name of. It's probably the fucking background track if this was an anime. Emmy arranges supplies we brought and moves a few paint cans around, trying to bring some organization to the scene. Emmy, I need the Prussian blue paint. Which one's Prussian blue? She is staring helplessly at 7 or 8 cans, each with a different tone of blue. It's the one with Prussian blue paint in it. Geez, Rin, you're not helping at all. I look around as well, even though I don't know what Prussian blue looks like either. I wonder what blue has to do with Prussia. Rin would 100% be breaking the fourth wall by humming the currently playing BMG for that scene. Yes, she would. She would probably be like the vehicle for breaking the fourth wall, just kinda unknowingly, or maybe like somewhat knowingly, I guess. I honestly think that she would... I could honestly see Rin having a scene that maybe isn't in the script, or an added scene where she shatters the fourth wall by looking directly at the audience and and then starts talking to them as if she's speaking directly to us. And then the camera flips over to maybe Hisao or someone else that's looking behind her and showcases that Rin is staring at a blank wall. And their reaction is, Rin, who are you talking to? She would be the one to do that. And though that's not in the script in the game, I could definitely see that being added in and no one would complain. With a wink, yes. Who is she talking to? Absolutely no one. Or maybe she says, the audience. What audience, Rin? Or what Prussia even is. The name sounds vaguely familiar, but I can't place it. Not a history student. Yeah, no, Rin, if we need Rin to hum, she just hum the entire soundtrack for Katawa Shoujo. That would work too well. Well, none of the blues look more Prussian than the others. The small print on the labels is legible enough to determine that none say anything about the contents being Prussian. There is no Prussian blue here. We need to go get more then. I opened my mouth to say that actually, we're not both needed for such a simple task, like finding another pot of Prussian blue. But Emmy's already grabbed my arm and started dragging me off. I waved to Rin, who doesn't seem to have noticed that the two of us are even leaving. Well, she'll notice when she goes for her Prussian blue and finds out it's still not there. Maybe. Probably not, actually. While I'm busy thinking of how weird Rin is, Emmy's been dragging me back to the art club classroom. I feel myself starting to run out of breath. What's the rush? Huh? Emmy's giving me an appraising look as if she's trying to figure something out. It's just that you seem to be in a hurry. I'm not sure if I can keep up. Comprehension dawns on her face. You're not out of breath, are you, Emmy? The last time you did this shit, I almost had a heart attack. This would be the not smart thing to do, but we're both retarded, so I suppose we're just doing it again. There's almost an accusing playfulness to her tone. I'm tempted to deny it, but then I realize I've been breathing heavy since we stopped. I guess it's kind of obvious. A little. Not everybody can be in shape, you know. Takes all kinds, right? Emmy frowns. It's not a particularly good frown. That is, I should get in shape? Not that I hadn't already decided to try for that. After that flutter on the track, I figured there's a real need to get in some sort of running habit. I was, after all, feeling pretty good up until I had my false alarm. Well, actually I wasn't, but it was fun? Emmy, don't make me have to up the heart attack count. Actually, Martin, you haven't upped it. We're up to 3. Meanwhile, my comment seems to have helped Emmy come to some sort of a decision. Well, that's it then. She gives me a serious look. You're joining me. I beg your pardon? in the mornings. You and I are now running partners. And like that, we're locked into the route. The end. I've got a routine all planned out, in fact. She produces a crumpled sheet of paper. I've got it right here with me. I take the sheet of paper and give it a once-over. Date, times, dates, and laps all laid out. The slow increase from just a few laps a day to, my God, does she expect to have me running marathons? And where did she find the time to get all this together? And how long has she been planning this anyway? Well, we've already done it once before. She's been back here for years waiting for this moment. Took a bit of time for the timeline to come back around again, but here we are. You've been planning this? A little. But it's really the nurse's idea. He told me to keep an eye on you to make sure you exercise like he told you to. A vast conspiracy? A feminist conspiracy. Led by Big Pharma. Maybe Kenji's onto something. Yes, Big Pharma's in on this. This seems to be a bit much for just keeping an eye on me. Well, to be honest, I've been trying to find a running partner in the mornings for a while now. My God, Kenji, if you could only see the scheme unfolding! What do you need a partner for anyway? It's easier to keep a workout if you're not the only one doing it. Isn't that obvious? You're less likely to quit if someone else is counting on you to be there, right? I see, and this won't only keep you running, but it'll make sure that I keep running as well, meaning that I'll be obeying the nurse. And I'll be keeping an eye on you just like he asked. You caught on quick, Hisao. Yes, I know when I'm screwed. And if I refuse? I have no intention of refusing, of course. But I've got to at least put up a token resistance to such a masterfully executed plan. Well, if you refuse, I'll have to pout. And you'll have to live with being the guy who made Emi Ibarazaki pout. You don't want that on your conscience, do you? As if to demonstrate, Emi begins pouting. It's the most adorable, heart-wrenching thing I've ever seen. And I would know a few things about heart-wrenching, being the glass man. Okay, I'll do it. Just don't do that. I feel like I just hit a puppy. So it's settled then, right? You're going to be my running partner. Follow the workout and the dietary plan. Dietary plan? Yeah, the dietary plan. You've got to eat healthfully if you're going to get in shape, you know. I examined the workout routine closely. I don't see a dietary plan on here. Oh, right, I forgot to give that to you, too. Another crumpled sheet of paper is produced and handed over. It's somewhat less detailed. I had the nurse help me come up with it. The amount of dedication that the nurse has to keeping me in good health is pretty overwhelming. I don't know many school nurses who would get one of their students to spy on me, much less come up with a dietary plan. Eating healthy costs more money than it's worth, you vapid woman. Yeah, unfortunately, yes. Then again, I guess I'm not in a normal school, and maybe that's not such a bad thing. Then again, this dietary plan seems to cut out just about everything that'll be offered at the festival tomorrow. So when does our running start? After the festival. Right, good. Right, after. What if I had something to eat there? I could get a stomachache, you know? I meant the day after the festival. I knew that. Wasn't there something we were supposed to be doing? Oh, I guess we should get that paint for Rin, huh? Oh no, it slipped my mind. By the time we get the paint and get back to the mural, Rin's already wandered off. Oh well. Emi and I both decide to part ways there, leaving the paint on the ground. Rin will find it whenever she comes back anyway. Festival's tomorrow. I'm actually a little excited for it. At the same time, The week's left me feeling pretty tired, so I read a little and then go to bed. You're right. Oh, just eat healthy, Lamau. T, the people who have never eaten healthy. Yes. Emmy says, oh, you should eat healthy. That's key to keeping in shape. She says, fisting cake directly into her mouth. We'll get to that one. The next day, I wake up feeling a little lightheaded. It's almost noon already. Sleeping late is fine since it's a Sunday and there's no classes. Not just a Sunday though, but the festival as well. From my window, I can already see some people at the soba booth slinging noodles onto plates for people with a craving for low-quality food. Delicious, high-quality, low-quality food. I throw back a handful of my morning meds and ponder how to spend the day. There will be a few exams in the coming week, but I don't consider those as ominous as others, so I'm not as worried about them as I probably should be. With no urgent obligations regarding education, I should be free to spend the day at the festival as I like. Finishing my morning routine, I exit into the hallway, intending to go out and find something to eat. Passing by his door, I decide to see what Kenji's up to today, out of impulse. I'm curious if he has any plans, since everyone is doing something. Then again, I can picture him having built a soundproof shelter in his room. Or possibly something like a fort, complete with no girls allowed sign. 4chan joke! Yes! Reference the classical memes. Yes, Kenji is definitely in there, surrounded, by an enclosure, a fortress made of, waifu figures. Yes. A fort made of waifu figures with an M16 pointed directly at the door, ready to shoot any intruders who would dare trespass on these lands dead. And with girls crossed out and body crudely scrolled underneath it. Nobody. Knocking on his door, which is luckily devoid of any kind of sign, I hear, again, the unsettling clack of at least 10 locks being pulled back. Who is it? You're supposed to ask that before you open the door. Or no, it's not waifus are women. No, it's definitely robot toys. Yeah, robot toys. Transformers. Oh, it's you. Damn, it's early. It's not really that early. What is it, man? Nothing. Was just gonna ask it what you're gonna do today. Half the school is out there already. Out where? Why? Yep. The yelling Kenji face. A meme in itself. Man, the artist who drew this absolutely cranked out a banger for this one. What? What? Is today special? Why are they there? Who are? I can hear them. It's loud. Don't tell me. Has the invasion begun? He suddenly looks more alarmed. What day is it, man? Yeah, I guess you can't see the big wooden booths outside and people selling stuff. What the hell are you talking about? I have my curtains closed at all times to thwart the snipers. It's the festival. You know that, right? Oh shit, that's today? Damn it. I can't believe I forgot. I don't have my fort finished yet. This is bad. There is a fort. Nice Chekhov's gun there, mentioning a fort and there actually being a fort. This is going to be a very bad day. It's good It's good you told me this, man. This is going to be a bad day. Why? Oh man, they're going to be everywhere. The people outside my window, socializing. Kenji rubs his temples nervously, suddenly looking very ill. It's going to be loud as hell. Damn, I was going to go out today, but now it's ruined. Everything is ruined. This is awful. This sucks. This sucks. What the hell? This really sucks. I can't go anywhere now. There's nowhere to run. Kenji seems nervous. You could even say he's majorly freaking out. I can't believe this. So that's what today was. Damn, and I couldn't even prepare for it. I couldn't even brace myself, and now it's here, and I can't do anything. You should have told me this earlier, dude. I mean, at least I know, but I could have known earlier. Imagine what I could have accomplished. My God, it's here. Sorry, I thought you knew. So, I guess you're not doing anything today? The weather is even good. Yesterday was really windy, so I thought today would be cold. It's not. Ugh. Though, so there's no reason to just stay inside. Yeah, you should check the festival out. Kenji groans and covers his face with his hands. No, I can't do it. They'll eat me alive out there, I know it. That has to be a joke, but he said it with such a straight face, relatively straight. What are you going to do? We should hang out in here. You can help me build my fort. We might still make it if we work together. I wonder, I'm kinda hungry, but I made this deal that I would try to take better care of myself. Be healthier, you know? I don't know if I should steer clear of the takoyaki or head straight in. Deal? Sounds ominous, so what are you getting in return? Nothing? I guess it's not that kind of deal. You know, Emmy, from our year, we kind of agreed to watch each other's backs and... Aye! The shrill scream and the expression of abject terror in Kenji's face chilled my blood as if I had told a Catholic priest I had sold my soul to the devil. Her! You sold your soul to the devil! And there it was. And didn't get anything in return? What the hell is wrong with you, man? Do you know who you're dealing with? She's a public health danger. Do you know how many people she sends to the hospital monthly with her carefully placed flying tackles? Well, technically she's, sent me to the hospital, well, once, but nearly twice. She's one of them, a key player in the vast conspiracy that aims for the complete submission of everything that is manly. I can't believe what I'm hearing. I trusted your judgment, man. I thought we were brothers. I have terrible judgment by, other things, but this is just Kenji doing Kenji things. You have to call it off before it's too late. This festival, too. It's just one of their ploys. He fingers his scarf nervously, faster and faster, like he's trying to start a fire, then slowly begins to calm down once the panic attack finishes running its course. I'm going to have to find some place to hide in, a safe haven, and then knock the lights out of myself so I don't have to experience this horrible day. I have the perfect thing for that. I must prepare now. Don't go to the festival. Okay. Later, dude. The door slowly closes with a low creak, and I don't know how I feel about what Kenji just said. It's kind of unsettling, and now I start to feel doubtful myself. Should I bother going? I've got a book I've been meaning to read. Something about an underground postal system that may or may not exist. It's short, too. I could have finished it in a day. But would that be a good way to spend my time? Well, yeah, it definitely would be. But I suppose that it would probably be a better idea to head outside. See the festival. Try to integrate with all the other sideshow acts. Honestly, I should at least make an attempt to keep the somewhat friendly personality I've had for the past week. Thank you, stranger, for the penny alert. The stranger flicks a penny directly into Martin's forehead. Bot is immediately executed. Thank you, stranger. Maybe get something to eat, my stomach suggests. It's almost lunchtime. I could at least grab something from one of the stalls outside. I'm soon outside, surrounded by various students and people who may or may not be their parents. Every so often I catch a glimpse of someone who clearly just came up from town for the promise of a festival. They're easy to spot. The ones who can't stop staring, and behind their eyes you can tell they're thinking, now, what's wrong with this one? I almost want to yell at them, but at the same time I can't deny that I've been doing the same thing all week. Can I deny that I've been doing the same thing all week? A wave of something like disgust sweeps over me. Guilt for my own narrow-mindedness. Ah, yes. The food. I push the thoughts aside, concentrating on the pangs of hunger that burn my guts like wildfire. The scent of something fried leads me to the promised land, where I can get some lunch. I'm just getting my order when a loud voice interrupts me. Hey, what the hell are you doing? Having a lunch. Breakfast? You mean you just got up? Yeah, maybe? Suddenly sleeping all morning feels like a crime. No, I meant lunch, honestly. She's not buying it. Brunch? That's not a healthy breakfast at all. He snatches my food out of my hands and glares at me. What the hell is this girl doing? Hey, that's my breakfast! What happened to it being your lunch? It's everything! That's whatever, it's my food! And he places her hands on her hips and begins to lecture me. Did you really forget your dietary plan already? Nonsense! I never read it! You need to be more conscious of your health, Isao. What about your heart? My heart's fine the way it is, mostly. You know, barely functioning. I get a response. All I get is a response is a roll of the eyes. I doubt that. You wouldn't be here if that was the case, would you? The girl's got a point, of course, but I'm not about to concede it. It's not that bad of a heart. Certainly, it can handle a little grease now and again. Yeah, sure, and it handled a little running just fine, too. Emmy seems unconvinced. Not surprising, as I haven't even managed to convince myself. Maybe, but not if you're sleeping the day away all the time. A devious look suddenly crossed her face. Of course, if you'd been following a routine from the beginning, you wouldn't be in this situation. I've had a pretty eventful week, you know. I was also laid up in the fucking hospital for 4 months. For example, I almost died, and there was a lot of meeting people, and then I was on a roof for a while. Which is no excuse for slacking off, you know. Yes, it is. It was very overwhelming. A little near-death experience is no excuse for skipping basic exercise. Like running in the mornings. She nods, as if something important had just been decided. So it's settled then. You've seen the error of your ways and are willing to adhere to my routine, right? You said after the festival. This is the festival day. I'll see you bright and early in the morning. We'll be running buddies. You know, you already convinced me yesterday that this was a good idea. You don't need to convince me again. Not that I did a good job of being convinced. She's right about eating healthy, after all, and here I am ordering up something grossly unhealthy. Well, it's nice, though. Everyone did all this work, I might as well enjoy it. But delicious. Exactly, it's delicious. There are more important things than deliciousness, aren't they? Not in this dark times that we live in, but this is a little bit more optimistic, I suppose. Like staying alive, this is also true. If Emmy weren't here browbeating me for my poor decisions, I'd probably... Hey, wait a second. Kisao, you're not gonna fucking drop dead from eating a bit of fucking soba. Or anything else out there. It's not gonna kill you. A sudden question springs to mind. Hey, why the hell have you taken such an interest in my well-being? Emmy shrugs and grins at me. You're the new guy. I figured you don't have any friends yet, right? Besides, I've caused you trouble all week, right? Yes, and you're causing me even more. I owe you for getting... I owe you for not getting angry. And I told the nurse I would anyway. Uh-huh. Crazy little running girl wants to make me healthy. Yeah, that summarizes this entire route. That is the entire route. The cat's trying to open the door to the closet. Granted, he's not on my computer, so that's good. Well, I suppose there are worse fates. Okay, that sounds fine. Thanks for your concern. Tomorrow morning, then? I figure that ends the conversation, so I turn to leave. Not so fast. I feel a hand on my collar for a second, and in a second, I've been yanked backwards. Hey, no need to be so rough. What do you want now? Emmy looks almost wounded by my annoyed question. Thought you could use the company. Her eyes narrow. Besides, you were just going to try sneaking off for more of that fried crap, weren't you? Fried crap? Hey, it's delicious food. Well, I wasn't going to, but now that she mentions it, it would have been a really good idea. I was not. Yes, I was. Another glare. Okay, maybe I was going to get a loop. The glare continues. Okay, a lot. Jesus, I'm a danger to myself and others, aren't I? Yep. I get done agreeing that I need to be healthier, and then immediately start considering the next unhealthy habit that comes my way. I knew it. You can't be trusted. Now I definitely have to stick with you. Whatever you say, woman who has suddenly decided to attach herself directly to me. Yep. This whole situation feels silly. I can only imagine what passerby think of the sight of me being lectured by a tiny girl half my size. Maybe I should just give up for now. Fine, do what you like. I sigh. Might as well make the best of this. What do you want to do? Emmy thinks for a minute. Well, I promised Rin I'd stop by her mural. So let's do that. I confess I'm slightly curious to see how her mural turned out myself. So, again, I consider there are worse fates. Didn't we have to walk past it in order to get over here? Give a nod of assent and find myself almost dragged bodily through the crowd as Emmy races to our destination. By the time we reach the dorms, I can feel my heart pounding. My heart shouldn't be pounding just after that. I take a few deep breaths, willing myself to calm down. I'm one of the most normal-looking people in the school, but I still have to be here. Sometimes I almost wish I had lost a hand or something. At least then it'd be obvious that I belong. But instead, I don't even look sick. No, I just almost keel over and die periodically. Even now, trying to catch my breath, I just look out of shape. Emmy looks back and notices my state of distress. You're not gonna die on me, are you? Please don't. It'll be all my fault, and I don't want to deal with that kind of guilt. Besides, after the last time, I really don't think I need to see that again, especially because the nurse will totally say it was all my fault. Nah, I'm fine. I guess I need to start running after all. And you wanted to keep eating your greasy whatever it was. Delicious food, woman. Delicious food. See, it's a good thing I found you, right? You're correct, but not necessarily in the way you thought you were. Not really in the immediate sense, but in the long term, yes. Yes, it was. Maybe. But I'm not going to say that out loud, it's too obvious. Of course, I don't add that. I wouldn't be in this state if she hadn't dragged me across the festival grounds. Further conversation is interrupted by the sudden appearance of Rin. Oh, it's you. Hello, Emmy. Hey, Rin. I brought Hisa along because he was going to give himself a heart attack. I was not. My objection goes unnoticed. We stopped by to see how the mural turned out. Rin nods slowly. Well, it's right here, or it's right there. You can see it pretty clearly. I find myself wondering how long Rin has been standing here in front of the mural. Has anyone even stopped by to look at it? Are we the first ones? Obviously, we're not the first to see it, of course. I mean, it's pretty big. You'd be hard-pressed not to see it. At the same time, I don't think anyone's actually talked to Rin about it. Anyone but us, that is. I feel compelled to say something. It looks pretty good. I'm still not happy with how it turned out, but I guess it'll do. She seems almost resigned to it. I'm not sure what she expected as a result, but I guess she didn't quite get there. Yeah, so now whatever the hell this mural is. We stand in front of the mural, taking it all in. I try my best to concentrate on the composition of the thing. It's actually fairly interesting. The colors swoop and blend together, dragging me along with them. There's a dreamlike quality to the whole thing that makes me feel almost sleepy. I try hunting out some of the colors Emmy and I grabbed for her. Try as I might, I can't see any Prussian blue. Oh well. I'm sure it's in there somewhere. My feet start to hurt, but Rin doesn't seem inclined to move on. Emmy speaks up. Hey Rin, have you eaten? Of course, you can't survive otherwise. What about in the past 5 hours? Maybe, but I'm hungry again, so maybe that means I'm wrong. Emmy grins and claps her hands together. Good, come get some food with us. Rin nods in assent. Okay, but we should hurry before they notice I'm gone. Somehow I don't think they'd care. Whoever they are. Yes, the mysterious people out there. Swear to God, of all the things that I notice immediately, a fucking Heinz ketchup bottle. Immediately, I know what that is. Everything else around this is alien. Completely indescribable, but the Heinz ketchup bottle. Mm-hmm. American cultural victory, right there. Ah, wait, no, Coke bottle. That's the real American cultural victory. No, that's even more obvious. Didn't see that. It's all the way at the edge of the screen. They sell beer at the festival, probably for the adults. They're selling Sapporo. As we head back to the food stalls, I cast a longing eye over the fried food. No, I better not. I'm pretty sure Emmy wouldn't let me anyway. I find a nice spot on the grass to sit down and eat our purchases. Well, my purchases anyway. Somehow I wound up paying for all the food. Surprisingly, my unfried food is pretty good. Silence falls as Emmy and I eat, and Rin stares at something or another, occasionally eating a bite or two of her food. She's probably humming this background track now, too. Either way, we win. Total victory. Yes, total victory. I finish my meal first and lay back on the grass. Emmy glances up from her food. Tired, Hisab? A little, I guess. Well, don't oversleep or anything tomorrow morning. We start our morning runs, remember? Actually, they'd slipped my mind. I was actually just enjoying myself. Wandering around the festival with these two has actually been fun. Yeah, I'll set an alarm. You better be there. I'll get angry if you aren't. God forbid. I don't think God comes into it. Unless there's some kind of freak accident and your alarm clock shorts out. That might be a random act of God. Well, don't cause any random acts of God, then. A plan forms itself in my mind. It's a plan that makes me feel kind of guilty, but I throw it into execution anyway. Damn it, I've earned a little fried food. Anyway, I'm going to start running tomorrow, right? So the actual routine starts then, not now. Ergo, the dietary portion starts tomorrow, too. Ergo, I can have something unhealthy today. As a sort of final farewell to all the stuff I used to eat with wild abandon before the hospital. Actually, I suppose I should head back to my room. I had some homework to do, and if I'm going to run in the morning, I should make it an early night. Those narrowed eyes again. You sure you're not just going to sneak off and buy some of that fried stuff over there? Silence. Glares. No. Nah, I'm too full to bother now. I pat my stomach for emphasis. Besides, you two cleaned me out anyway. Emmy giggles. It's a surprisingly pleasant sound, under the pang of guilt. She's got to know that I'm lying to her, doesn't she? Or is she just that trusting? I feel kind of like a monster. All part of my master plan, he said. Well, I guess I'll see you tomorrow morning then. Thanks for the food and keeping us company. And here I thought she was doing me a favor. Rin nods in agreement. I won't say see you tomorrow because that would be like predicting the future, and I'm pretty sure I can't do that. Okay. Thank you, Rin. Amazing observation. Bye, you two. I feel oddly glad that I decided to leave my room today. Not a bad way to start my second week here, I suppose. Once I'm sure I'm out of Emmy's line of sight, I make a beeline for the food stalls and buy some cake. At least it's not fried, right? That's slightly better than what I was planning to do. I still feel a little bad about lying to Emmy, though. She really does seem concerned with my health. I'll make it up to her somehow. And just throw cake at her. Better head back to my room. Hey, I do have work to do. My book waits for me, and I flop on to my bed and read through the fireworks display. Annoyed Soyjack, fireworks outside, closing the curtains. Eventually, all the walking around, or more accurately, running around, catches up with me. I really am out of shape. Emmy dragged me out in the morning to run. Dragging me out in the morning to run might just be a good thing after all. It's something to look forward to. Ah, yes. Yes, now the anime. Top quality animation for this. And then they fucked. Vigorously. With anal. Ah. Finally. Mm-hmm. Got the achievement for starting Emmy's arc, but, well. Here we are again. Boss, what? Everything I just said is a factual statement. Martin, tell them. Everything that I have just said is a factual statement. I am only stating the facts. These are real facts. What's so out of left field? Well, that's Katawa Shoujo sometimes. But welcome to Emmy's route, ladies and gentlemen. We're stuck here now. But this is where I got myself with my decisions, and as I've seen in my life, well, I certainly make decisions. Sometimes they're impulsive moron decisions, but they mostly kind of get me somewhere kind of good, at least for a while. Maybe I should keep making them, I guess. They'll probably speed up the rate of reaction. Maybe. Lemon-scented lube. Yep. Lemon. Lemony fresh. But my alarm's beeping shatters the early morning quiet, and I find myself wondering where to find the motivation to rise. Class is still quite far off, but I agreed to run with Emmy in the mornings. Really, I'm not that interested in running as a hobby, or even as a possible life-lengthening exercise. However, I feel obligated to follow through on my promise to Emmy yesterday, which is why I find myself throwing on some running shorts and a light t-shirt. The cool morning air caresses my face as the morning sunshine causes the dew on the grass to sparkle, nearly blinding me at first. As I make my way down to the track, an ugly thought strikes me. What if this is some sort of joke that Emmy is playing on me? Would that surprise me, really? Hell, I'd probably do it to the new guy, too. At the very least, I'm sure Emmy and Rin made a bet on whether or not I'd actually show up. I feel a sense of trepidation as the track comes into view. You're late! It would seem that Emmy is already here, or already there. What a relief. Not according to my watch. We're both early, in fact. Damn, you've got me there. Emmy is sitting on the bleachers, decked out in her running gear, waiting somewhat patiently for me. I'm glad you're actually here. I was afraid that there was some sort of joke or something. Nah, I'd never make someone get up early for nothing. Plus, Rin owes me 500 yen now. She didn't think you would actually show up. Everything is right. Everything they mentioned is entirely correct. I knew it. Nice to know Emmy was on my side, at least. Emmy hops off the bleachers and begins stretching out. She's remarkably lithe, almost like a dancer. I set out to stretch as well, but then realized I don't exactly remember how to stretch properly. It's been ages since I stretched for anything. If you don't count my one stint at running last week. And even then, I don't think I actually stretched beforehand. The specter of my long hospital stay rises up again. I can't say that I was all that active before my hospital stay, though, so maybe I'm just being morose. Emmy giggles as she watches me stretch out. No, Hisao, you've got to hold it for longer than that. I'm trying, it kinda hurts a little. Ah, that's because you're out of shape. You've got to get some flexibility in you, like this. To demonstrate, Emmy reaches down and puts her head through her legs. Ladies and gentlemen in the audience, make of this what you will. God bless you, Emmy. I see. Is that the sort of thing I should strive for? Of course, flexibility is important for any runner. You'll be able to go faster the more you stretch out. That makes so sense to me, but Emmy seems to believe it's true. Well, it's actually somewhat arguably true, even though there isn't actually some science behind it, but athletes like, say, basketball players are, like, as large and imposing as they actually are, because some scientists actually assume that by doing the physical activities that they do, you actually stretch your body physically, wider and taller by doing these things. It's kind of strange. It's like every time you jump up to score, a basket, you're kind of hitting the skew button in Photoshop a little bit, which is odd to consider, but apparently that's how it works. With Emmy's help, I managed to stretch myself out properly. I can't help but notice that when she thinks about how to explain things to me, her mouth scrunches up in concentration. It's adorable. Not bad, Hisao. Come on, we better start running. We start off with just a mile, okay? That's 4 laps around the track, got it? That sounds fine to me. This shouldn't be too hard, right? A hazy memory of running a mile for a gym class surfaces in my mind. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. Emmy sets a pretty good pace, and I fall in behind her. Try to keep up, okay, Hisao? Roger. We round the first curve without incident, though I can already feel my heart rate increasing slightly. By the second curve, I've started to breathe through my mouth. Emmy doesn't even seem to be breaking a sweat. As if to punctuate her superiority, she turns around and starts running backwards. Are you okay? Are you doing okay, Hisao? Never better. Oh, really? Maybe I should speed up then. Emmy, this is how I almost had a heart attack a couple of days ago. Oh no, wouldn't want you to overexert yourself. My heavy panting and wheezing makes my statement less convincing than I had hoped. Emmy simply smiles and turns around again. You're the boss, Hisao. We'll stay at this pace. I get the feeling that I'm being mocked. If I weren't in such terrible shape, I'd probably feel offended. By the third lap, my breath is coming in ragged gas. I'm also awash with my own sweat. Gross. We round the curve to start lap 4, and Emmy looks back at me with a grin. Here we go! She takes off at blinding speed while I stubbornly stick to my slower pace. By the time I get to the first turn, she's already rounding the second. As I struggle across the back stretch, Emmy continues running and catches up to me. Come on, Hisao, you can do it. I'd answer her, but I'm too focused on getting air into my lungs and ignoring the burning in my leg muscles. Part of me wants to say something like, maybe you can, but I'm not about to die here. But again, I doubt I can actually form words right now. Emmy keeps pace with me as I round the second turn and cross the finish line. Her sprint seems to have gotten her sweating. It's actually caused her shirt to turn slightly translucent. It seems she wears a black sports bra. Haha. I feel a vague stab of guilt for being the sort of guy who stares at a girl's chest, but my legs and chest are burning so badly I can't bring myself to care that much. Ah, yes, mild arousal. That makes the burn from the exercise actually a little dimmer. Yes, Right, no, that's actually good first aid there. Thank you, Emmy. Not bad for her first effort, Hisao. Kind of you to say so. Emmy seems to be, if not out of breath, at least breathing a little more heavily than she was before we started running. It must have been the sprint that did it. Hey, I've got to get a few sprints in. You should walk around the track to cool down. Then we can stretch out and we'll be all done, okay? Sounds great. My legs are on fire and my breathing is still heavy, but surprisingly, my heart seems to be taking the strain well. Another triumph of medical science, I suppose. You should put your hands behind your head. It makes it easier to catch your breath. All right. Surprisingly, she's right. I begin to stroll down around the track, happy to feel my breath coming back to me. Right, you stretch out your diaphragm right like that. All right. Shit, I forgot that little nugget of advice. Zoom. There's a blur as Emmy sprints by me. Watching her run is absolutely fascinating. It's not just because she's on prosthetics, though. That is interesting. The really interesting thing is the way her face changes. I can only catch glimpses of it as she runs by, but her eyes seem to come alive with a sort of fierce joy. As if there's nothing else in the world but her and the track. By the time I've gotten to the final stretch, Emmy seems to have finished her sprinting. She's breathing heavily now, but she's wearing a satisfied grin on her face. She waves to me cheerily as I near her. Feeling better, right? Actually, yeah. Do you want to take another lap around with me? I've got to cool down too, you know. Part of me would rather sit down and not move, but something tells me that would be a bad idea. Besides, if I sit down, there may be no getting back up again. Sure, why not? Emmy's got her hands behind her head now, which makes her seem very relaxed. The positioning of her arms also pulls her shirt upwards ever so slightly so that I can see a small strip of her belly. Yep, mild arousal. Amazing first aid in this situation. I'm going to survive. I do my best to act the gentleman and not look, but the contrast of her skin against her red running shorts is rather arresting. So how do you feel, Hisao? How am I now? Surprisingly good, actually. I'm sore and tired, but surprisingly good. As soon as I say it, I realize that it's true. Right, it was made up bullshit when I said it, but actually after I've said it, I'm actually kind of okay. Sure, part of me wants to lay down and die, but I feel like I've accomplished something. It's almost like a glow throughout my body that persists despite the soreness. Yeah, that's the runner's high. Runner's high? Yeah, it has something to do with adrenaline? Emmy thinks for a moment as we walk, trying to remember. Then she shrugs and grins at me. I don't actually remember. It's a good feeling, though, isn't it? Better than sex, right? Thud. I opened my mouth to respond shortly before processing what she just said. Emmy watched my face for a few moments before bursting into laughter. Sorry, I couldn't resist. You're just too easy. Why did I agree to run with you again? But sex is good too. It's also a strenuous activity and also actually technically exercise. As I remember, the last time I actually saw anything like that, apparently according to science that, you know, a round of sex burns about 200 calories. That's actually legitimate exercise. So, go get him, Hisa. Emmy just laughs harder. She takes hold of my forearm and tilts it, allowing her to get a better view of my watch. Her face changes the moment she sees the time. Oh no, we better get a move on, Hisao. Class is in an hour and I need to shower. I should probably do that as well. I need to see the nurse too. Maybe he'll write me a note for being late. Why do you need to see the nurse? Emmy points to her prosthetics as if that would explain everything. It's important to check for irritation. You know, from sweat friction or friction or anything. Normally I only go after practice, but if we are going to be doing these morning runs, then I guess I'll have to see him twice a day. Wait, so Emmy has only started doing these runs since I showed up? If it's more convenient for you to run with me at a later time, don't be silly. I've been meaning to start running in the morning for a while now. Wait, so what you mean is that you didn't actually do this before I actually showed up. You were using me as an excuse to actually get started with this yourself. You absolutely dastardly woman. You weren't actually doing this either. You're using me as an excuse. You're lucky I know where we're going. But if I didn't have a partner to run with, I'd be less likely to keep up a routine. It's always harder to blow off a commitment if you're going to let someone else down, you know? So you'll be my running partner for the mornings. We both need the exercise, so it all works out, don't you think? Yeah. Perfect. Sure. Did it have to be me, though? It was an accident. We also got looped into this because I accidentally, almost killed myself. But, well, them's my decisions. Well, I guess I can't complain too much. Emmy's pretty fun to hang out with. And she's right, I do need the exercise, doctor's orders even. Emmy waves a quick goodbye to me. Right, I'm off. Come have lunch with us, okay? What? Lunch, you know, the meal in the middle of the day? Come have it with us. Where? The roof. Rin likes it up there. When? Lunchtime. When else? That was a silly question. Yeah, but I sort of felt the need to ask all three for completeness' sake. Emmy laughs and grins. I don't think I've ever seen a girl smile so much before. Not bad, he's out. See ya. With that, she takes off like a shot for the school building. I guess she's going to see the nurse first. I hurry back to my room and hop in the shower, only to find that the water takes a while to heat up. The shock of cold water nearly kills me. No heart attack, though. Managed to warm the water a bit and spend some quality time feeling my muscles loosen. My heart, surprisingly, feels the least bothered by the run. Well, that's a good thing, even if it does make me feel like a bit of a wuss. I mean, at least I'd have an excuse beyond I'm out of shape if my heart were bothering me. I guess I'll have to keep this running thing up, otherwise I'm sure Emmy won't let me hear the end of it. It's only after I get out and dry myself off that I realize that I've only 10 minutes left to put my clothes on and get to class. Crap. Oops. The hands on the clock finally set me free from the tedium of yet another fun-filled class. Getting up from my seat proves to be more of a problem than anticipated. My legs are killing me from the morning's run. Maybe doing these with Emmy isn't such a hot idea after all. Still, the run's giving me a hell of an appetite. I'm halfway down the hallway to the cafeteria when I remember that I've got my lunch with me. My parents saw fit to provide me with some pre-packaged stuff when I moved in, and that's a good thing too. The hallway is packed with students headed for the cafeteria. Going back is like swimming upstream, but I've got an appointment to keep on the rooftop. It takes a moment to find the staircase leading up to the rooftop, but I'm willing to bet that Emmy and Rin aren't up there by now anyway. Aren't up there by now? They're totally up there by now. In fact, I think I saw Emmy among the bodies in the hallway headed for the cafeteria. I step out of the door to the roof and take a deep breath. The fresh air blowing against my face, and the body almost makes my legs hurt less. Maybe if I'm upside down. Of course, Rin is here. Part of me wants to be surprised that Rin is already up here. What's that going to accomplish? Things in the clouds. Couldn't you just look at them right side up? Rin rolls her eyes in something approaching exasperation. Then I wouldn't get a new perspective. Is upside down really a new perspective? Aha! That caught her off guard. Rin looks pensive. You may have a point. Maybe sideways. Rin lays down on the bench to look at the sky. I give up. Fortunately, Emmy chooses that moment to burst through the door carrying 2 bags. She nearly takes the door off the hinges. Sorry it took me so long. There were a ton of people in line. She drops the first bag in front of Rin and takes a seat on the bench next to her. You buy Rin's lunch for her? Sometimes, yeah. I'd have Rin buy my lunch for me in return, but I'm not sure how she'd carry it. Plus, I'd never buy her lunch. If Rin's offended by Emmy's comment, she doesn't show it. Emmy sniffs. How ungrateful of you. I'm not sure whether the two are joking with one another or if I'm witnessing the beginnings of a catfight. The 2 girls stare at one another for a few tense moments before breaking into smiles. Hey, Emmy, do you think being upside down is a new perspective on things? Didn't I already have this conversation? Emmy looks thoughtfully, apparently giving the question some thought. After a deep, profound pause, she speaks. I have no idea. Well, at least she's as lost as I am. Hey, Hisa, you're coming to the track meet, right? The question comes out of the blue and catches me off guard. This is the first time I've heard of it, but go ahead. I don't know yet. Honestly, Hisa, after I went to all of the trouble of letting you run with me in the morning, you won't even show up at my track meet? This is the first time I've heard about it, woman! You know, you usually invite people to things you want to, see them at before you ask a question whether or not they're going to be there or not. That's, you have to be invited to plan to show up to something, or even know it fucking exists. Wasn't she the one that asked me to run with her? Actually, it was kind of ass, but then we were, what's the term here? Explain told? What's the term I'm looking for here? I can't remember. But, it's kind of, the nurse basically suggested us to actually go to the track and exercise, so it's not really our fault. Voluntold, something like that, yes. Actually, she didn't even give me a choice in the matter, yes. Wait, no, I didn't say that. She beams at me as if I had just agreed to give her $1 million. So you will come after all, that's great. This is the first time I'm fucking hearing about it, but okay, sure, fine. I didn't say that either. I'll be going too, so I'll make sure he comes. Good idea, Rin. Maybe we can get some food or something after the meet's over. I feel like I've just been conned, but not by these two. More like by some outside force, pushing me irrecoverably towards my destiny. Yes, this is me being locked on Emmy's route. Yes, unfortunately, God has preordained that you make an impulsive, stupid decision and you get stuck with a woman. Or maybe I shouldn't read books that feature conspiracy theories so heavily. Otherwise, I might wind up sounding like Kenji. Still, I suppose that I've got to show up now. I don't think I could stand against both of them being disappointed. I'd never hear the end of it. When is it again? Next week, silly. I just told you a few days ago. A few days have passed? No, you didn't. I forgot? Well, you won't forget to come, though, right? Will you? Of course I won't. I'll even make a note on a calendar or something. Rin nods sagely. That's probably a good idea, unless... Well, yeah, that's probably a good idea, unless time changes its course. Can it do that? Rin gives a non-commitment shrug. It hasn't yet, but you never know. This time it's Emmy who gives a shrug. I suppose it can't be helped if it happens. Not unless you're a time traveler or something. You don't think that could actually happen, do you? I don't think we do we? Rin shrugs again. That seems to be her default response to everything. I suppose not, but I reserve the right to change my opinion at a moment's notice. Yep. For Rin, this statement makes a disturbing amount of sense. Yes, it does. The fact that I realize this now frightens me a bit. I wonder if Emmy gets this feeling all the time. If she does, she's not showing it, though. Emmy merely nods. As expected. What's that supposed to mean? This time it's Emmy who shrugs. It's like she's using Rin's own weapons against her. Your response is the sort of thing I'd expect from you. That is all. Or that's all. Am I really that predictable? Emmy's smile seems to border on gloating. Nah, it's just that your unpredictability is pretty predictable. Well, that's alright then. I don't get the chance to see whether Rin is being serious or not as the bell rings. I didn't notice the lunch period slipping by at all. Hanging out with these two was far too interesting. Emmy jumps up, a look of panic on her face. Oh no, I needed to stop by my room to pick up my notebook for the next class. Don't you wish you had a time machine now? Rin seems rather smug as she delivers this line, like she just won an argument. Jesus fucking Christ, Rin. Jesus fucking Christ, Rin. Emmy ignores Rin's comment. Sorry, Isao, but could you make sure our garbage gets thrown away? I usually clean up myself, but I've got to run. Sure, no problem. Emmy darts away with an urgency I'm starting to expect from her. I don't bother asking Rin why she couldn't help. She already seems to be preoccupied with something else entirely as she wanders off. She's probably used to Emmy taking care of a cleanup, and for some reason, I doubt Emmy's ever raised an issue with her. Cleaning up for lunch doesn't take long, so I have plenty of time to toss our garbage. To toss our garbage and get to class, right? Misha greets me with a wave and a devious grin as I walk through the door. Didn't see you in the cafeteria, Ichan. Yeah, I decided it was too crowded there. Misha's grin gets even wider. Oh, really? Are you sure you weren't participating in an illicit rendezvous? What are you talking about? You were on the roof, right? With both Rin and Emmy, no less. You Casanova, you. Look, the anal hasn't started yet. I will notify you when it happens. Well, we just had lunch, that's all. Misha burst into laughter, drawing the attention of several of my classmates. Bah ha 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 ha. You're so adorable when you blush like that, Ichan. She gives me a conspiratorial wink. Don't worry, your secret's safe with me. There's no secret. Oh. Misha seems disappointed, then brightens up again. Time will tell. I don't know what the hell she's talking about, but blessedly our teacher comes in and the class starts. Another day of class has finally dragged itself to a close. Unexpectedly, I managed to stay awake for the whole day. I know that feeling. I'm pretty sure that counts as a miracle. My legs seem unwilling to stand up for a moment. I guess the run took a lot out of me. I head down the hallway and make my way to my room. I sit down and half-heartedly chip away at my homework for a while, feeling like a vulture picking at a particularly unsavory carcass. It knows this is what it eats, but it's not sure that it shouldn't be ordering. It's not sure that it shouldn't be ordering takeout instead. I don't think I can take this, but it's important to get my work done. Now let's see. What was I supposed to be looking over again? I know it's a losing battle, but I fight it anyway. Halfway through my math homework, I put my pencil down. This isn't working. I need a distraction. Unfortunately, my options for distractions are rather slim. I'm not in the mood to read right now. Kenji is unusually out of his room at the moment. If I go to the student council room, I'll just end up doing work for those two. And heaven only knows where everyone else is, except for, well, I suppose that's an option. I grab my shoes and head for the track. Emmy's probably down there. Track practice is just ending as I arrive at the track. The sun's beginning to dip low in the sky. Has it really gotten that late already? What are you doing down here, Isao? Come to spy on me, have you? I give a shrug. To be honest, I'm not sure why I'm down here. I didn't have anything better to do. I figured that's about right. At that moment, Emmy's the only person I can think of who I could visit. So I'm your last resort, am I? No, you're my only resort! Nobody cool around, so I'll just go see Emmy. Is that what you thought? She actually looks angry. A chance for some teasing of my own presents itself. Actually, yeah, I guess you are. Emmy pops, widening her eyes to give the maximum amount of puppy dog resemblance. Kidding, I was kidding. So you are down here to stalk me. Wait, what? That's not what I meant. Why would I stalk you? Stalk you anyway. It's not like you require stalking. If you're not asleep or in class, you're down here, right? Emmy laughs at this comment. Well, you're not all wrong, I suppose. But you forgot about eating. I do that too, you know. I nod, conceding the point. Plus, I hang out with Rin sometimes too, so really I might take some effort to stalk. What do you do together anyway? You don't seem to have a lot in common. She puts her hands on her hips and assumes a superior air. That's what you think. I've got all sorts of hidden hobbies, you know? Oh, really? Like what? Yes, Emmy, like what? Emmy puts her head to one side as if she's trying to remember what it is she does in her free time. Well, Rin and I go out shopping sometimes. I guess that makes sense. Emmy's a girl after all. Rin? Rin comes with you? We usually swing by the art supply store. Plus, she likes this music store that sells all kinds of weird sounding stuff. She says it helps focus her. That makes a little more sense. I see. Any other hidden hobbies? Emmy wags a finger at me. Now, why would I go and reveal all my dark secrets to you? We hardly know each other. Yes, we hardly know one another. Well, I'm stuck here anyway, so we're going to get real comfortable. Somehow I think that's all that Emmy has in the way of hobbies. Still, I don't think my question has been answered. Even if you do have a few hobbies, I still don't see why you hang out with Rin so much. I mean, she's kind of weird, isn't she? This comment causes Emmy to laugh loudly. Ah, that's the understatement of the year. So why? I mean, you're a lot better at conversation and stuff, so I figure you'd hang out with a lot of people, but I think I've only ever seen you with Rin. Emmy seems unusually defensive. Hey, I hang out with plenty of people that aren't Rin. You just don't see me doing it because I'm not in your class. Okay, but that still doesn't explain why you hang out with Rin. I'm not even sure why I want to know this. I guess it's because lunch was so strange. Emmy shrugs, looking for a moment very Rin-ish. It's because we have similar outlooks. If you were to ask me the least likely answer to my question, that would be it. What do you mean? It's like... Okay, Rin paints and stuff, right? Yes. I'm not sure where this is going. Well, I run. And what do those have to do with each other, Emmy? And that's why we're similar. You're similar because you do things. Emmy, what the fuck are you talking about? You lost me. Emmy frowns as if trying to figure out her answer. Well, maybe it's that we do things for the same reasons. Huh? You know, we follow our passions. Emmy, I know how your passions work, and they're not very good, but I don't know anything about Rin. So I won't make this comment on this is true or false, but I know how you tick, and it's not good. So you're passionate about running, and Rin's passionate about art. Is that it? Is that it? Well, sort of. Let me think. Well, Rin explained it to me once, but I don't know how much of it I followed. Not surprising. I think any explanation from Rin would probably confuse anyone. She says we both chase after an extreme. Like, she's always trying to find a new way to show a particular feeling or something. And I run because of the feeling I get from it. And since we don't allow ourselves to be slowed down by anything, we make a connection based on that. What do you mean, slowed down by anything? Emmy looks surprised and points at her legs. You know, because I'm a runner and Rin's a painter even without arms. So we respect each other's determination. And that's why we hang out. I think. Well, I'm not sure that made any sense to me, but from Emmy's sheepish expression, she's not sure about it either. Honestly, it's not something I think about much. We just get along. I think that's really all that matters. I suppose she's got a point there. Another question strikes me. strikes me, and since I've got nothing better to do, I ask it. So what got you into running anyway? Oh, I've been running since I was really little. My dad was a runner, and as soon as I could walk, he started teaching me how to run. It was our father-daughter thing, you know. Our own mutual hobby. A shadow crosses her face, and I'm shocked to see her looking sad. Yep. There it is. The first time we see that bend around that mountain. That's a little far off there, but that's where we're going. Did something happen between them? Yes. Man, I don't have a lot of time left. Sorry, but I've got to get a few more laps in before I go see the nurse. It's Truck-kun, wasn't it? Something like that, yes. She races off around the track, hair streaming in the wind. It seems to me she's going a lot faster than she was this morning. As she rounds the track, I catch a glimpse of her face. It's much the same as it was this morning, but her eyes seem to have taken on a harder edge. I guess she's right. I don't really know much about her. Yes, that was kind of the hint that there's something back there. Emmy, why are you so dedicated to running? I just think it's fun, tee-hee. Is that the real answer? No, it's fucking not, but she's not gonna tell us that until much later. I watch her run for a little while, and then stand up to head back to my room. Hey! She spots me leaving and waves to catch my attention. Don't forget, same time tomorrow morning, got it? Got it. I head back to my room. Homework beckons. Clearly you need to force it out of her. Yes! Like making her go see the nurse. Oh boy, have I been waiting to use that one. Oh boy, we're gonna have we're gonna have a fun time with that entire segment of the story. Say it with me, guys. Go to the nurse, Emmy! Oh, it's gonna be a fun time. I can't sleep. My body is tired, but my mind is kept awake, staring at the ceiling in the hollow darkness of my room. I grasp desperately for a thread of thought, hoping that I can run my brain into the ground. All I can think of is how I can't think of anything. This is not productive at all. I wonder if this is a side effect of my medication, though it seems odd for it to take so long to show up. Then again, maybe I'm just not used to my new surroundings as used to my new surroundings as I like to think. I don't know, but for whatever reason, I'm awake and I shouldn't be. This is ridiculous. Ignoring my body's stiffness, I get out of bed and look at my clock. 4 in the morning. Last time I checked, it was only 1. That means I slept a little. Yes, right. No, I lost consciousness or deleted the memories of those 3 hours there. I don't know. I throw on some clothes and I head out of my room. A walk might do me some good. I'm surprised at how chill the air is compared to the relative warmth of the day. I can almost see my breath as I wander the campus waiting for the sun to come up or for me to fall asleep. At this point, either option works for me. I find myself at the track, where for the first time, Emmy's not out running. I suppose that makes sense. It's too early even for her. The bleacher seats are cold, but at this point I welcome the sensation. The sun is starting to show its face over the horizon, and I know with an awful certainty that I'll get no more sleep tonight. The sun's steadily strengthening rays start to warm me up, and I watch the dew on the ground begin to stream slightly. My mind calms down a little, and I proceed to fall asleep on the bleachers. Aha! Yes, now I'm here waiting for Emmy. Got ya, bitch. Hey, wake up. Huh? What? Where? I guess I fell asleep after all. What are you doing out here? You're going to catch a cold or something. I rub my eyes and am confronted by Emmy, who bends over me with a worried expression. I'm still a little groggy, so my response comes out in a mumble. Couldn't sleep. Watch the sun come up. Sounds like something Rin would say. I shrug, feeling the stiffness that comes with sleeping on a bench for a few hours. Is it? I wouldn't know. Emmy grins a little at my somewhat cranky response. So, couldn't sleep, huh? Obviously, we need to run you harder today. Even though I've only known her for about a week, this seems fairly Emmy-ish. Seems a very Emmy-ish response to the problem. Hey, my body is plenty exhausted after yesterday. My mind is just racing, that's all. I don't see the difference. If you run hard enough, your brain will get tired too. I'm seriously questioning the wisdom of doing this first thing in the morning. I don't know if my grades will be able to handle me tiring my brain out like that. Emmy pulls me up from the bleachers with surprising strength for someone her size. Now come on, Hisa, we've got work to do. I don't actually know if I'm up to this today, to be honest. I mean, I obviously didn't get much sleep, and what sleep I got was on the bleachers. I don't know, should I really be running? Emmy glares at me. Good heavens. What are you talking about? Of course you should be running. How else do you expect to work out the kinks? You've been sleeping on the bleachers, for heaven's sake. The best way to get soreness out is to run around a little. Now stop hiding it in the bleachers and get down here. There's no arguing that. I'm pretty sure she'd killed me if I didn't do as she said. I get to my feet and hop down to the track. The sun is warming things up rather nicely, I think. Emmy and I begin to stretch out, and I find myself once again hard-pressed to not stare. If this is how I have to wake up every day, I might be able to get used to this. Ah yes, woman. You know, Hiso, it's not polite to stare. Caught. I wasn't staring, I swear. Emmy raises an eyebrow and considers me for a minute as if evaluating my response. There's a brief moment where I'm afraid for my life. But then she smiles and laughs, shaking her head slowly. Honestly, you didn't have to deny it so strenuously. In response, I clap my hands together and go for a change of subject. So, that's enough stretching, right? Emmy gives a casual shrug. Do you feel stretched? That's really how you tell. Well, I do feel up for a run, if that's what you means. Yeah, I feel ready to go. Same as yesterday, okay? We'll just run for a mile at a steady pace. Don't worry about going really fast, just worry about keeping the pace. Got it? You're the boss. So yes, that was the moment where, this boy's attracted to me. The light bulb went off. Emmy grins again, and we take off around the track. I think I'm going to die. Wow, that was a rather abrupt change in pace there. We're not even done with the first lap, and my legs are on fire. My breath is coming in ragged gasps. I can feel sweat pouring down my brow, and we've only just now rounded the second turn. Come on, Hisa, you've got 3 more laps to go. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't do this. I think I might hurl. Somehow we're on the second lap. Emmy's not even sweating. How could she do this so effortlessly? Because she does this every single goddamn day. And no, it's not actually healthy. For some reason, I'm still moving. She's like a machine. Third lap. What happened to the second? Almost there, Hisa. Liar, we've got another 2. Nothing to be done. I can't do this. Emmy rolls around and begins running backwards. Her face is a mask of anger that surprises me. Never say that. If you say that, you've already lost. Keep moving. If you're alive, you can keep moving, damn it. Whoa, language. We're on the 4th lap now. She really seems to want me to keep going. Legs, move. Move, move. They feel so sluggish. I'm in mud or molasses or tar. I can't go on. I'll go on. Final stretch, Hisao. Give it all you got. I pump my legs as fast as they'll go. They keep refusing to obey my commands. Somehow I keep moving. Somehow I finish. That's it, Hisao. I knew you had it in you. The anger Emmy showed a lap ago is gone, replaced with pride. She's positively radiant, like she just won the gold medal or something. I stagger to a stop and fall to my hands and knees, gasping for air. My heart is pounding far harder than it has in a long time. I don't think it's done this since... Oh god. Up the clock! Please slow down, heart. Just slow down. Stop racing. I cough, and for some reason I feel a grin crossing my face. So this is how I die, huh? Time to up the count. Trying to stay healthy. How ironic. I'm all ready to give up right there. But then I feel my heart slow down. 2 hands grab under my arms and tug upwards. I look up and see Emmy standing over me, with a mixture of delight and worry. On your feet. Come on, you'll never catch your breath that way. Somehow I manage to stand. I try to raise my arms above my head, but I feel like lead. I start to walk around the track while Emmy keeps close to me, like she's afraid I'll fall over or something. She may not be far off. I feel terrible and say so. Emmy laughs. But you finished, didn't you? You said you couldn't, but you did. Isn't that worth it? I'm not sure, and I don't really have the breath to say so. Yeah, I almost died again, so, you know, maybe that wasn't all that worth it, but, we're slightly more in control of our lives, I guess. But that small grin I felt on my face earlier hasn't left. So what if my heart's weak? I still survived this morning. Yes, I once again survived another, terrible attempt at doing this. A terrible impulsive decision where I was, slept on the bleachers, since 4 a.m. to now, and then decided, you know what, let's go for a mile run here, and, almost had another fucking heart attack. Maybe I'll survive tomorrow, too. As soon as it becomes apparent that I'm not going to suddenly keel over, Emmy takes off on her sprints. No, doesn't take off anything. That's later. I don't know how the hell she can manage to sprint after running a mile, but I guess she's in much better shape than me. Once again, as I walk around the track, I can't help but watch Emmy sprint. It's weird. She's like a different person when she's pushing herself. Last time I noticed her eyes, but this time it's her mouth. The mouth that catches my attention. She's not wearing her normal grin. She's still smiling, but there's a tightness to it. It's almost grim, like she's fighting a losing battle but doesn't care. She seems to be running harder, like she did yesterday. Sweat has started to pour down her face, but she keeps going. Her mouth finally opens as she can no longer get enough air through her nose. As she passes me once more, legs pumping, arms swinging in time, and her lips slightly parted. She looks beautiful. After we've both taken some laps around the track to cool down, Emmy changes back to her usual self. The transformation I saw in her is gone. Not bad today, Hisap. There was almost admiration in her voice. What do you mean? I would have stopped if you hadn't yelled at me. Emmy colors a little, seemingly embarrassed about her outburst. Sorry about that, I just can't stand to see people give up. Especially about something like this. Saying I can't go on is silly when you're obviously going on while you're saying it. That's what this is all about. What, saying silly things? Emmy sticks out her tongue at me. Idiot. I mean showing that you're alive. Showing I'm alive, huh? I didn't know it had to be so painful. Well, that's how you know you're alive. You can feel the pain. If you can feel it, it's still there. but it does feel pretty good despite that. Besides, this is one of the hardest days. What do you mean? Whenever you start a workout, it's difficult the first day, really hard the second day, and the third day is easier. You'll still get days that are really hard, but they'll pop up less and less. So this will eventually get really easy, huh? Yeah, of course. But then you have to increase the difficulty, or you'll never get ahead. You'll just get complacent and you'll lose the sense of accomplishment. So I'll have to run more than just 4 laps, huh? Yep, but not for a while. You'll have to be careful, you know. A thought strikes Emmy, and her face lights up. Got it. Got what? You can come with me to see the nurse. That way you won't fall over dead or anything. How charming. When? Right now, of course. You'll need a shower and everything, right? We don't have much time then. Grabbing my hand, she's off, pulling me along with her. My goodness. But you're in a hurry today, aren't you, Emmy? I had no idea how we got to the nurse's office so fast, but here we are. The nurse grins at Emmy and seems to completely ignore me. You've got plenty of time to take a shower and get to class, you know. There's no need to run through the hallways like that. I can hear you coming a mile away. Somehow it doesn't seem like he's actually scolding Emmy at all. It's like this is a sort of routine between the two of them. Emmy does a passable imitation of remorse. I'm sorry, I won't ever do it again. Liar, you'll do it tomorrow. You may even do it later today. The nurse and Emmy both laugh at some private joke. Suddenly, it seems that he notices me. Ah, hello, Hisao. What brings you here? Well, Hisau's officially joined me on my morning runs. I start to explain, but Emmy cuts me off. I thought he might need a visit. Might need to visit you so that he doesn't die or anything. The nurse raises his eyebrow in mock horror. Yes, that would certainly put me out of a job fast, wouldn't it? Well then, Hisao, let's have a look at you. Lift up your shirt, would you? I'm suddenly very conscious of the fact that Emmy's in the room with me, and blush in spite of myself. The nurse seems to sense my discomfort, but it only seems to amuse him. A bit shy, aren't we? He makes an apologetic bow to Emmy. Sorry, Emmy. I tried to get you a free show, but it doesn't look like it seemed to have worked. Emmy stiffens slightly and fires a look of annoyance at him. You're an asshole. Wow, wrecked. Emmy bows to me apologetically. I'll wait outside, okay, Hisao? I get to stammer that it's not really a big deal. She doesn't have to leave, but she's already out the door and the nurse is laughing as he watches her go. Still got it. Ha! I don't follow. He laughs again, like he's in on some joke that's over my head. I can still get her flustered. It's a competition of sorts we've had going for a while now. That sounds incredibly sinister to me, and it seems as if the nurse realizes that too. That sounded a lot worse than it actually is, come to think of it. I wasn't gonna say anything. No, you're right. I should fill you in on it so you don't get the wrong idea. I'm actually relatively new here, you see. I got hired the same year Emmy started going here. Before that, I worked with Emmy during her initial rehab following her accident. Hold on, what? He had to amputate her legs after a really nasty car wreck. It nearly killed her and succeeded... He shut up abruptly. I blink at receiving this unexpected piece of news. Yes, succeeded in killing her father. But, we don't know that one yet. Well, that's not my place to say. Anyway, we've known each other for quite a while now. So we have a slightly more familiar relationship than is strictly professional. He seems embarrassed, like he's done something stupid. I guess he's really worried about that. I wave a hand to let him know it's not that big of a deal. Don't worry, I promise, I'm going to be discreet. had been wondering about what caused Emmy to lose her legs, and that was one of the scenarios I thought of. There were only so many ways that could happen, but actually hearing about the facts, well, it's still a little shocking. Well, thanks. You're a good kid, he said. I can see why Emmy became friends with her. She's quite indomitable, you know. What do you mean? You didn't see her learning to walk. She'd go for so much longer than the others in the hospital. She refused to quit. Normally, it takes years to get to a point where you can even think about running again. Emmy did it in about a year. He almost seems proud of her, like a father who watches his daughter win a competition or something. Hell, she'd have probably done it faster if not for the fact we wouldn't let her. Wouldn't let her? Why not? Because she'd go for so long that her legs would start bleeding. Where they met her prosthetics. Yeah, that. It's a real concern. It's why she comes every day, every day after she runs. To say nothing of the risk of infection if her legs get cut up and her prosthetics are dirty. But enough about that. If we don't get you on your way soon, Emmy will think we're up to something. As he says this, he gives a wink and begins checking my heartbeat. The stethoscope is way too cold. You really should have heated it up or something before you used it. After a few moments, he leans back, satisfied. Well, you sound pretty good to me, he said. You didn't have any chest pains while you were running, did you? No, not really. I had some trouble catching my breath, though, and the heart was racing by the end, too. The nurse frowns as I say this, but shrugs. It's probably just because you're out of shape, but if you don't improve, then you should let me know, okay? Don't push yourself too much, and of course, if you have any chest pains, come to me immediately, right? I put my shirt back on, and the nurse leans out the doorway to call in Emmy. What took you so long? Now I'm going to be late. The nurse gives me a significant look. I was just seducing Hisao, that's all. Thanks! What? Come on, what have I told you about seducing my friends? I expect Emmy to be shocked by this, but instead she seems merely annoyed, scolding the nurse as if he were a child stealing cookies. Meanwhile, I try hard not to blush at the nurse's innuendo. I'll try not to do it again, though I fear young Hisao may be lost to the female gender forever. Not freaking likely. I didn't mean to say that out loud, but both the nurse and Emmy regard me for a moment before bursting out into laughter. I told you he was funny, didn't I? Huh, I guess Emmy does talk to the nurse about a lot of stuff. Well, Hisao, you should probably get moving. You still need a shower before class starts, don't you? Crap, he's got a point, and it looks like I've only got half an hour. Thanks for your time, I'll see you later, Emmy. I dash out of the room as the nurse begins to remove Emmy's prosthetics. As I head down the hallway, I can just barely hear his voice drifting after me. Emmy, you've got to be more careful. I make it back to my room and shower in record time. It occurs to me that I've already been up for 4 hours and class hasn't even started yet. Yes, and also, remember, go to the nurse, Emmy! This is going to be probably the theatric of the middle of this arc, where we sit there being annoyed at Emmy and her horseshit. But, ladies and gentlemen, it's 10 o'clock and that's about 4 hours. So, I think we're going to call it here for this evening and close up the week now. But, so, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting on with Katawa Shoujo. We have actually officially started Emmy's route by making the stupid impulsive decisions that I made so many years ago with, getting really angry that a girl was making fun of me. Yep, that sounds like me. Still is. Good place to hold up. I was waiting to get back to the room because it feels like this is the moment. These are the moments where you kind of take a pause to stop, like at the end of the day or when Hisao winds up back in his room. This is probably one of the these are the stop moments, I guess, but this seems like a good one, so that's it for today. But, ladies and gentlemen, I have been your host, Phontomen, and I hope you have enjoyed the show. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I will see you next week. Good night.